Chapter 538. At the end of the Gobi, at the intersection of the light and the horizon, the red sunset shyly hides and wants to go home. The crystal coffin makes a slow sound. As soon as it comes into contact with the outside world, the forbidden time in the coffin is broken. White Fairy slowly opens her eyes. The snake fruit allows her primordial spirit to return to her body. The price she pays is not only the soul power she has cultivated for hundreds of years, but also the personal ability of the late gathering vitality period that she cultivated for 600 years. It vanishes in an instant and no longer exists. Violating the law of life and death, White Fairy pays a great price. Her gathering vitality dissipates. She regresses to the golden elixir. The golden elixir is broken again. The rotating nebula in her ocean of Reiki closes again. Weak Reiki exists in her meridians. At this moment, White Fairy only has the personal ability of the middle period of training Qi. The famous gathering vitality female cultivator in the world of cultivation in the past has become a little cultivator in the level of training Qi who has just entered the path of immortality. If she hadn't experienced the blow of almost dispersing her primordial spirit, this difference would have troubled White Fairy for a long time. Fairy. Seeing that she really wakes up, Lin Luoran is overjoyed. Noticing that White Fairy has almost lost her personal ability, Lin Luoran sits up and holds the edge of the crystal coffin with her hands. She thinks that her body is weak after a long sleep. Lin Luoran steps forward to help her, but White Fairy waves her hand and refuses. Let me do it myself. She is not weak. It's just that she hasn't had the feeling of having a body for a long time. She has mixed feelings for a while. When White Fairy sits up and tidies up her clothes, she finds that she is wearing a lotus pattern storage bracelet on her wrist, her favorite in the past. There are many spirit medicines, spirit stones, and magic weapons stored in it for many years. She knows that everything is prepared by Yi Zhao. She is half happy and half worried. She only feels that it is worthwhile to disperse her personal ability. Touching the bracelet, she puts away the warm ice jade crystal coffin and disappears. White Fairy kowtows to Black Tortoise, I'm Bai Qingxue. Thank you for your great kindness. I swear by the devil inside that I will do anything for you in the future. Black Tortoise nods, indicating that it accepts her devil inside oath. White Fairy continues, when I first met you, you were also a female cultivator in training Qi. At that time, I laughed at you for being too weak to come to the secret land. Now, our positions are reversed. You are in the middle stage of gathering vitality, while I am in the middle stage of training Qi. I don't deserve to be called fairy by you anymore. All the gods and Buddhas have disappeared. Now in this world, only you are the real, mortal heart fairy, conferred by the heaven. As for the White Fairy, that others wrongly called, it will no longer exist from now on. The one standing in front of you now is Bai Qingxue. According to reason, I have just called you Senior. Please take pity on my old mental state and allow me to call you fellow Taoist Lin. From now on, you can call me Qingxue. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to laugh or cry, you and I are best friends. There is no need to make such a distinction. I will call you Sister Bai from now on, okay? Bai Qingxue thought about it and nodded in agreement. She still preferred to call him Little Linny. It was intimate and smooth. Mu Tianan also interceded for her. Bai Qingxue bowed to him, which was the most formal etiquette of a lady in ancient times. Mu Tianan was so flustered that he stepped aside and did not dare to accept the etiquette. Black Tortoise is very impatient, don't you get tired of thanking me? The 1-month period of lost land is coming. Why don't you leave? Lin Luoran still wants to say something, but she has been caught by Black Tortoise and thrown out of the secret land. Then Bai Qingxue is thrown out, and finally Mu Tianan. Black Tortoise sees that he is a little pitiful with an empty arm. When it throws him out of the secret land, it reminds him in an inaudible voice, since you are willing to protect her for 100 years, I will give you a piece of advice. The chaos spirit fluid in the underground palace of Jinling may be able to solve your current half-dead state. Of course, it is just a possibility. You don't have too much hope. Black Tortoise doesn't want to listen to Mu Tiannan's empty words of thanks. It throws him out of the secret land. Baiji's primordial spirit is wrapped in light and forgotten by everyone. When Black Tortoise finally thinks of her again, it looks over there. Baiji screams in horror, "School sister, I was wrong. School sister, help me, help me." Baiji doesn't know that her school sister, who used to fulfill all her requests, has been killed by her jealousy more than 1,000 years ago. She has been crushed into dust by the ruthless time. The dust is blown by the wind. People can't help but shed tears. 7-year-old Baiji is picked up by Bai Qingxue, who goes back to her hometown to visit her relatives. "Oh, my sister actually has the Taoist root of personal ability. Uncle Bai, can you let Ji join our school and be my little school sister?" Uncle Bai, who values boys more than girls, is fascinated by the golden beads brought back by Bai Qingxue. She is just a daughter. When she grows up, she can't get so much dowry. Uncle Bai gives Baiji to Bai Qingxue. Bai Qingxue feels sorry for her sister. Her relatives treat her coldly, so she is very good to her. When Baiji was a child, she followed Bai Qingxue timidly and called her sister with a soft childish voice. Bai Qingxue corrected her for a long time before she learned to call her school sister. "If you knew this would happen, you wouldn't have done it." Black Tortoise sighs and finally swallows Baiji's primordial spirit. Lin Luoran and the other two are thrown out of the secret land by Black Tortoise one after another. They fall into the sea. Not to mention Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan, poor Bai Qingxue has returned to the middle period of training qi. Her experience and personal ability are extremely unmatched. She almost can't control the sea water well and becomes the first female cultivator with the Taoist root of the water to drown in the sea. Lin Luoran remembers that Bai Qingxue can't ride on the sword with her personal ability at this time. She still has a bone boat in her space. Lin Luoran quickly drags it out and puts it into the sea. After the three of them get on the boat, she drives the bone boat to break the waves. As soon as she walks out of the fog of Bermuda Sea area, she meets Liao and Hu Ji, who are circling on the sea. "Uncle Liao, are you awake?" Lin Luoran is overjoyed. She forgets to ask why Liao is here and how he and Hu Ji know that she has entered Lost Land. Liao seems to be more excited than her. "Are you okay? This secret land is so weird that even I can't enter the extra-dimensional space. Did you meet an old tortoise?" Lin Luoran is both overjoyed and shocked. Why is Liao so weird after waking up? His attitude towards her is not as lazy as before. And why does Liao also know Black Tortoise? He really has friends all over the world. Hu Ji looks at Mu Tiannan and then at Lin Luoran. He doesn't forget that this face always hangs in front of the villa of Qingqing Villa. He is full of vigilance and can only say a few sarcastic words. "You entered Bermuda's secret land without saying a word. Liao and I had to eat the sea breeze in the nearby sea area for more than half a month. Hey, aren't you the soul of departed? How come you become a real person?" Lin Luoran smiles apologetically and asks Liao and Hu Ji to get on the boat quickly. It is said that rivals in love can best detect each other's attributes. As soon as the beautiful young man Hu Ji sees Mu Tiannan, he feels that they are not on the same side. The damn fox who has just humanized knows too little about people's hearts. Master Mu is now thick-skinned. How can he be hurt by a few sharp eyes? He can even change his image in front of Black Tortoise. In the face of Hu Ji's quiet provocation, he is as steady as a rock and smiles at Hu Ji very gracefully. During the free time, Lin Luoran briefly tells Hu Ji what happened in the Lost Land. Hu Ji focuses on the interaction between Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan. He doesn't find any clues, so Hu Ji is relieved. As for Liao, he is very excited when he hears about the agreement of 100 years. Linny, we don't have to rely on that old tortoise. It may not know more about the Tower of Babel than I do. We can leave it and go by ourselves. Besides, all the gods and Buddhas have left the earth. As a cultivator, you don't need to care about it. Lin Luoran feels that Liao is more and more weird. Uncle Liao, I have agreed. Black Tortoise has analyzed the pros and cons of this matter. Lin Luoran can no longer turn a blind eye to it. Liao murmurs something like, the stinky tortoise wants to repay the favor. He mutters a few words. It seems that he is very dissatisfied with Lin Luoran's decision to bear this burden. However, his attitude is not as cheeky as before, which makes Lin Luoran feel very uncomfortable. Lin Luoran wants to ask if the fever has any sequelae. However, Hu Ji points to Mu Tiannan and asks, how did you get involved with the evil spirit? Lin Luoran's face darkens. Hu Ji, where are your manners? Hu Ji sees that Lin Luoran is actually on Mu Tiannan's side. It can be seen that they share life and death together. Hu Ji feels wronged after being scolded. However, Mu Tiannan waves his hand again and again. It doesn't matter. He is still young. In fact, both Hu Ji and Mu Tiannan have a pair of peach blossom eyes. However, Hu Ji's appearance is very tender. His peach blossom eyes become frivolous and frivolous. However, Mu Tiannan has been polished by time. Even though his appearance has become feminine, people can ignore the shape of his eyes when he is serious. They can only notice the steadiness in his eyes. Mu Tiannan's clothes are ragged and he makes a gesture of, it doesn't matter, with one hand, which makes him look more sincere. Hu Ji is so angry that his face turns pale. However, Lin Luoran notices his broken arm. She probably knows that Mu Tiannan has suffered a lot in order to survive. Seeing his blood poison acting up, the pain is no less than the feeling when she was trapped in the blood pool dungeon in the past. No matter how many doubts she has, she should be relieved. Your arm, I still have some dragon marrow here. Mu Tiannan refuses very sincerely. If one day I want to grow my arm, I will definitely ask you for help. Now let me keep it for the time being to remind myself. Lin Luoran smiles helplessly. I think you are too different from before. Your experience in these years is really curious. Foppish Mu, who pays attention to appearance and is known for his elegance, can even accept a broken arm. Lin Luoran feels that Mu Tiannan is a little strange but also a little refreshing. Mu Tiannan nods. If you want to hear it, I will tell you slowly. Liao's face is a little weird when he hears the interaction between the two. Thinking of something, he actually wants to laugh. The handsome young man Hu Ji is so angry that his cheeks bulge. He looks more and more like a bun. As for Bai Qingxue, she feels the salty sea breeze blowing on her face. She feels that a new life is so beautiful. A group of people return to Dongting City. Before they return home, they feel the tension in the atmosphere. Virtual optical frequencies are everywhere on the street, broadcasting the war situation of Alak, Bape Alliance and the Alpha Alliance. Military experts analyze that although the war has not yet affected the Earth Federation, the people should be vigilant. Under the influence of such remarks, not to mention other things, the situation of driving up supplies first appears. The street is full of people rushing to buy daily necessities. The tense atmosphere seems to reverse the situation. It suddenly returns to the panic when the Earth was invaded by the Alpha Alliance before the new era. Lin Luoran frowns. She first contacts Xiaoji and asks about its disappearance for a month. Then she rushes all the way to the Ma's villa. Lu Qingdai stands in front of the villa. As soon as Lin Luoran's ocean of consciousness recovers, Lu Qingdai's thread of faith immediately reacts. The anxiety in her heart disappears. She has been waiting by Dongting Lake for a long time. Ma Shuangshuang finds her when she goes out for morning exercise. Ma Shuangshuang invites her to the villa. Lu Qingdai doesn't dare to act rashly and she is only willing to wait outside the villa. At this moment, seeing Lin Luoran coming back in a mess, Lu Qingdai is shocked. Big events happen one after another, so Lin Luoran is not in the mood to change clothes. Her protean dress was destroyed by the feathers of the golden hawk. It is torn and dirty. If she doesn't refine it again, she won't be able to wear it again. Lin Luoran asks Lu Qingdai to enter the house and asks Colin to find some clothes that Mu Tiannan can wear. Lin Luoran has no time to care about their curious eyes looking at Bai Qingxue. She goes to wash up and finds an old dress from hundreds of years ago from the space. Lin Luoran and Lu Qingdai talk about the current situation. Whether it is Xiaoji who can invade the Alpha Alliance's system, or the Lu family who can infiltrate all parts of the Earth Federation like water, or even the Lu family of the Alpha Alliance, they all know more than the superficial analysis of military experts in the Interstellar Station. In fact, the situation is worse than the report of the Interstellar TV. The two alliances in the galaxy are well prepared for the war. The Alpha Alliance is completely caught off guard. Now the rank 3 member star of the Alpha Alliance has fallen, which has a very bad influence. The middle and high-level member stars are constantly noisy, and the war is in a stalemate. Once the situation continues to deteriorate, the Earth Federation will be thrown to the front line as cannon fodder. A rank 1 member star has been dealt with by the Alliance like this. If it weren't for Lin Luoran, the Alpha Alliance would have done this long ago. After all, the other party's reasons for starting the war are, the Alpha Alliance should disclose the secret of longevity, which is obviously aimed at the Earth. The Alpha Alliance launched an invasion war more than 300 years ago. Fortunately, they conquered the Earth. However, they didn't get any benefits. Of course, the decision-makers of the Alliance hate the Earth Federation so much that they have to pay such a price for a few mouthfuls of meat soup. In fact, the Earth Federation has already fallen out with the Alpha Alliance because of Lin Luoran's Miaoyin spell conference. The Earth Federation will not obey the Alliance's orders. What Lin Luoran worries about is that even if the Alpha Alliance is defeated by the two alliances in the galaxy, the enemies the Earth has to face will change from a fierce tiger to 2 hungry wolves. No matter what the situation is, the most important thing is to stabilize the people's hearts. Since the Lu family can't stabilize the situation, I will do it myself. Lu Qingdai blushes because of Lin Luoran's words. She agrees again and again. Lin Luoran thinks to herself that if the war is really approaching, should she kill a few high-level leaders of the Alak Alliance and the Bape Alliance first to let them understand that the Earth is not easy to deal with. Well, at the same time, she has to transfer the people. Of course, she has to put aside the reconstruction first. Liao feels a little frustrated. Lin Luoran connects with Xiaoji, discusses with the alien barbarian Colin, and discusses with Lu Qingdai. She never asks his opinion from beginning to end. Hu Ji feels that she is very similar to Liao. Lin Luoran throws the two masters aside. She has been entangled with the stupid brain and mortals. What is she doing? At this moment, Mu Tiannan comes downstairs in new clothes after washing up. His hair is still wet, and his broken arm can't affect his sexy elegance. Hu Ji is gritting his teeth secretly. Mu Tiannan listens to the discussion for a while and laughs. This matter has something to do with me. Yet, you're giving up what's near at hand to seek what's far away. What are you discussing with others? Chapter 539. To understand the relationship between this matter and Mu Tiannan, it is inevitable to talk about what happened to Mu Tiannan in these years. It was 2027 of the old calendar, the 8th year after Lin Luoran disappeared from the Jiaodong Peninsula to the Penglai Immortal region. Mu Tiannan left the country in anger and tried to find a way to make a comeback. Instead of leaving in anger, it is more likely that he was timid in the face of a relationship that was doomed to be fruitless. Although he doesn't like the fact that Lu Zheng messed with Lin Luoran after being engaged to Qin Baojia, he can't deny that Lu Zheng is much better than a mortal like him. If he can be with Lin Luoran, he won't let her try to have sex with him in just a few decades. Lin Luoran will spend the rest of the cultivator's lifespan feeling sad. To his surprise, after he left the country in anger, Lin Luoran didn't get together with Lu Zheng. At that time, he lost contact with the Mu family. The only one who kept in touch was Xian Yuanchen. Of course, Master Mu is very angry about this unfilial grandson. However, there is still Sixi in the Mu family. Master Mu knows that the Mu family specializes in love. With Mu Tianqing supporting the future of the Mu family, Master Mu doesn't care about Mu Tiannan, the unfilial grandson who ran away from home. With no one to control him, Mu Tiannan lived a degenerate life. He got drunk in bars and gambled in casinos. For a period of time, he even tried drugs. A variety of new drugs didn't anesthetize his spirit, but almost destroyed his body. In the year 2025 of the old calendar, Brother Mu, who used to be surrounded by thousands of flowers, is now at the age of knowing his destiny. His body is destroyed by drugs and he looks old. Although his face has not changed much, his hair is gray. This year, there was still no news about Lin Luoran. No one knew where the news came from that she was lost in the Penglai Immortal region. There was a small speculation in the world of cultivation of Huaxia that Master Lin might have died in the overseas Immortal region. The world of cultivation of foreign countries was ready to make trouble. Of course, they applauded the death of the mainstay of the world of cultivation of Huaxia. When he met Roddick in an underground bar, this vampire was talking about Lin Luoran's death. It seemed that Roddick hated Lin Luoran because Lin Luoran killed his sister. Hearing the news of her death, he was happy and regretful. Mu Tiannan can't help but get closer to Xian Yuanchen. Xian Yuanchen also vaguely tells him some news, but Roddick has fewer scruples. Mu Tiannan thinks he has done it secretly, but he doesn't know that the bloodline's keen senses have already noticed him. When he left the underground bar, Roddick followed him. Roddick looks good. However, in the Huaxia War, he and Crystal disobeyed the advice of the family and violated the ancestors' order. They attacked Huaxia cultivators without permission and caused irreparable losses to the family. Roddick, who barely escaped, is now not tolerated by the family and is forbidden to set foot in Europe. Only a small, barren country or a powerful country with a mix of good and bad people could accept him. In the dark alley, Roddick fails to suck Mu Tiannan's blood. Instead, Mu Tiannan gets in touch with the old bat who is resting in the ring. Without the Taoist root, he can't train qi and cultivate. However, the old bat is very optimistic about his useless physique. The old bat asked him to collect 12 jade tablets for it, and it would teach him the method of body refining and monster cultivation. Mu Tiannan doesn't think he will take advantage of an old monster. Collecting 12 jade tablets is true, but the old bat must have other purposes. But it doesn't matter. After all, it is the last life-saving straw. In any case, Mu Tiannan can only choose to hold it tightly. The old bat asks Roddick to donate a drop of heart blood. The heart is the most important organ of the bloodline. As long as the heart is still there, high-level bloodline can survive serious injuries. The heart blood of the bloodline is even more precious than that of a cultivator. Of course, Roddick is unwilling. Mu Tiannan doesn't know what the old bat negotiated with him, but the young bloodline finally agrees with a grim smile. Many years later, when Mu Tiannan is in great pain because of the double control of Roddick and the old bat, he understands what the smile of the bloodline means at that time. In the same way, many years later, Mu Tiannan successfully integrates the advantages of the bloodline and discards the defects with the rapid improvement of his personal ability. It makes Roddick vaguely understand why the bloodline forbids the development of descendants of the Huaxia clan. Of course, it is not because the bloodline loves the Huaxia clan, but because of the hidden talent in the blood of the Huaxia clan. It is easy for them to develop descendants of the Huaxia clan, but they are controlled by their descendants. In this way, although Mu Tiannan, the old bat, and Roddick have different ideas, they get along with each other in a wonderful balance. Mu Tiannan absorbs the heart blood of the bloodline, but he doesn't become a complete bloodline. In essence, he is half human and half monster, but the coldness in his blood makes people have a bloodthirsty impulse. Of course, he doesn't want to live by sucking human blood. The old bat waits for him to lose his drive and then teaches him to absorb moonlight to resist the coldness in his blood. Body refining and monster cultivation. Monsters also like the abundant Reiki on the earth. But before they transform, they prefer all kinds of spirit herbs and spirit medicines that grow in an environment with abundant Reiki. These things can improve their physique and cure the hidden dangers caused by body refining. Before they transform, their cultivation is to absorb moonlight. After transforming, moonlight is very important, and Reiki is also indispensable. Mu Tiannan's situation is special. He is a monster cultivator with a human body. He doesn't have the trouble of transforming, and no ancestors have tried this way. Along the way, Mu Tiannan's strength soars. In the early stage of the Alpha Alliance's invasion, he cultivates while playing all the 36 stratagems of Huaxia through various soft and hard means. He has collected 7 jade plates. Among the remaining 5 jade plates, the whereabouts of 3 of them are very clear. One is in the hands of the Wen family of Huaxia, the other is in the hands of the Asada family of Neon, and the last one is in the hands of Radik's former family. The old bat urges him to do it all at once, but Mu Tiannan is not moved. He really doesn't see the benefits of collecting jade plates earlier. He just wants the old bat to kill the donkey as soon as it is no longer of use. Of course, his excuse is that there have been too many movements recently. There are various versions of his collecting jade plates in the world of personal ability in various countries. The owners of the remaining 5 jade plates have all strengthened their defense. With his current strength, he is not sure to get all of them. As the old saying of Huaxia goes, it's better not to alert the enemy easily. The old bat is well aware of his delay. Anyway, there are still decades before the next opening of the Bermuda secret land. The old bat doesn't want to make things too awkward with Mu Tiannan. It has many ways to strengthen its primordial spirit. It can't trust Radik, an outsider, so it has to rely on Mu Tiannan who needs its help. However, the Alpha Alliance invaded the Earth and the peace was broken. Wars broke out everywhere on the Earth. During the Moonstar negotiation, the 6th brother of the Mu family, who represented Huaxia, died. Mu Tiannan can't imagine how Master Mu feels at this time. Everywhere was in chaos. He quietly returned to China and went to the Fragrant Hill Villa, but he didn't see Master Mu. At that time, the old man was running around the world of cultivation, trying to unite all cultivators to fight against foreign enemies. If possible, it would be better for cultivators of all countries to temporarily put aside their former hatred and work together. 6 cultivators of the Lin family all went to the front line. The youngest one, Cui Wanlu, had become a young girl at that time. Even she didn't choose to avoid the war. The war went on and Mu Tiannan knew that even the old bat began to worry. Although it didn't like Huaxia cultivators and ordinary people, it was afraid that the lost land would be affected if the planet under its feet was destroyed. Mu Tiannan also joined the army under a pseudonym. He didn't take his life seriously. Although he made a lot of military exploits and didn't embarrass the Mu family, the general trend was declining. How could the defense of the Earth resist the attack of alien civilizations? Whether it was Huaxia or other countries, the level of cultivators was far worse than that of the glorious era of the past. The front line was so long that even cultivators couldn't protect every compatriot. The Alpha Alliance was determined to take down the Earth. Its firepower was getting stronger and stronger day by day. The sacrifice of ordinary people also spread to cultivators. Mu Tiannan was terrified. He was afraid that something would happen to his family, but he also had to take care of the safety of the Lin family. He was not strong enough. Since he started to cultivate as a monster, it was the first time that he was so eager for the growth of power except for the pursuit of longevity. The old bat tempted him. The blood of foreign races was waiting for him to collect. The hatred of destroying his family and country naturally needed to be paid with blood. Mu Tiannan couldn't remember how he felt at that time when he sucked the blood of a soldier of the Alpha Alliance army. The boiling blood was flowing and rolling in his body. It was faster and purer than moonlight body refining. In the human blood, there was a kind of intoxicating fragrance and different vitality, which made Mu Tiannan addicted. Blood disintegrated Mu Tiannan's will faster than drugs. He was intoxicated with the speed of personal ability enhancement and the bloody way of personal ability enhancement. He fought hard on the battlefield and won the respect of his comrades. However, in private, Mu Tiannan often exhausted all his willpower to control himself from quietly sucking the blood of his comrades when they were tired and asleep. As Roddick said, the blood of the Huaxia people was the most attractive thing in the world. Oh, speaking of Roddick, this unlucky bloodline was unfortunately hit by a quantum cannon. Only his consciousness was saved by the bat ring. In the following years, he could only hide in the bat ring and accompany an old bat. The old bat asked Mu Tiannan to wear the bat ring, which would bring him unprecedented power. The battle line of the Alpha Alliance army shrank to the central area of Huaxia step by step. Countless civilians and cultivators were killed. Mu Tiannan had no choice but to wear the bat ring. From then on, in the transaction with the old bat, he was in an equal position at the beginning, but now he was under the control of others. However, it was true that he could borrow the power accumulated by generations of bloodline in the bat ring. When Huaxia cultivators went to the Tower of Babel, he was one of the forces secretly. The other force was Black Tortoise, but he didn't know it at that time. The Huaxia world of personal ability gathered the 5 elements with 5 single-line Taoist root cultivators. Then, with the power of cultivators from various countries, they opened the last defense line of the Tower of Babel to protect the earth, the shelter of gods. Once the shelter of gods was launched, the Alpha Alliance army was greatly defeated. However, all the people present must enter the Tower of Babel within 3 days and be transmitted to an unknown place. This was the sequela of the shelter of gods. Perhaps the mysterious mighty had expected that when the shelter of gods was launched, the earth would be doomed. That was why he asked all the earth cultivators who participated in the opening of the shelter of gods to be transmitted away. Mu Tiannan saw many strangers and acquaintances in the transmission crowd. Cultivators could take their immediate family members with them. The Lin family had 6 cultivators, so they were naturally not restricted. Mu Tiannan didn't see many people of the Mu family who were supposed to be transmitted. He thought they would never be able to leave because of the war. He saw Grandpa Mu who had aged a few years, but he didn't see Grandpa Gua who put him on his neck and rode him since he was a child. Mu Tiannan didn't dare to think about what this meant. He wanted to leave, but he was discovered by Grandpa Mu. Grandpa Mu smelled the strong smell of blood on him. He had already understood how this grandson survived to this day. However, the most beloved juniors of the old man were Mu Tianqing and Mu Tiannan. If Grandpa Mu had found Mu Tiannan's state before the war, he might have killed him himself. However, the war had made this old man lose too much. It was not easy for him to work hard to survive. After all, Grandpa Mu let him go. There was only one thing. When the Mu family asked Mu Tiannan to leave with them, Mu Tiannan refused and Grandpa Mu didn't agree. Mu Tiannan told Grandpa Mu what he could say. He had already planned to stay on the earth. In fact, Grandpa Mu was worried about what the Alpha Alliance would do after the defeat. He believed that Mu Tiannan might have changed a little, but he would never do anything wrong. After all, Mu Tiannan was a junior carefully cultivated by the Mu family. Grandpa Mu agreed to let Mu Tiannan stay on the earth. He also personally asked for the jade plate kept by the Wen family and gave it to him. So far, Mu Tiannan had collected 8 jade plates, and the remaining 4 jade plates were lost in the war. Hearing that Mu Tiannan had watched the earth cultivators leave, Lin Luoran held her breath and asked, in front of the Tower of Babel, the Lin family. Mu Tiannan nodded, "Don't worry." At that time, all the Lin family members were there. Although your mother was 100 years old, her face was ruddy and she was healthy at that time. They always believed that you were still alive in the world, waiting for you to find them. Hearing this, Lin Luoran was both sad and happy. She didn't know what to say for a while. Mu Tiannan continued to say that although Grandpa Mu didn't kill him personally at that time, he forced him to swear before he left that he couldn't use all the evil means on his compatriots on the earth. He couldn't forget that he was a descendant of the Mu family and he couldn't stand against the interests of the earth in the future. Mu Tiannan swore with tears. When the cultivators left, the Alpha Alliance was also frightened by this big move. Although the alliance had many members and great strength, it paid such a heavy price to take down an aboriginal planet just for some secret of longevity that they didn't know whether it could be used or not. The leaders were very dissatisfied with this result. In the end, the Earth Federation was established. The Earth was incorporated into the Alpha Alliance and became a Rank 1 member star, which ended the war. The road to rebuild the Earth was very difficult. It was not only short of manpower and materials, but also had the trade blockade of the Alpha Alliance and the harassment of mutant monsters after the war. Mu Tiannan was also at a loss for a long time. He wanted to change all this very much, but he didn't know where to start. Wandering in the Alpha Star territory, one day he sucked a noble of the Alpha Alliance who enslaved Earthlings. He accidentally traced back a drop of his blood, and then Mu Tiannan found that the situation had changed. The nobleman became his slave. He couldn't inherit his power at all, but he had the characteristic of blood slaves of the bloodline that they couldn't resist their master. Mu Tiannan felt a flash of light, which opened his mind. He made a breakthrough accidentally with this ability. In hundreds of years, he formed a big network called Bloodline Club, which penetrated into all fields of the Alpha Alliance. He operated it carefully, and in the past 100 years, he had unconsciously expanded to other alliances. There was only one person in the center of this network, and that was Mu Tiannan. The people who weaved the network included nobles, important members of the alliance, interstellar businessmen, and despicable hooligans. Mu Tiannan operated it carefully. The Alpha Alliance was aware of it, but they couldn't find the source. It was well known that cultivators on the Earth disappeared together. They didn't expect that a half-demon would stay on the Earth. The Alliance noticed his action, so Mu Tiannan changed his strategy from developing members to openly funding. He didn't trust the Alliance, so most of his funding was limited to the Earth Alliance. It didn't have to be a politician. Mu Tiannan supported all the people who received his funding, whether they wanted to do research or become businessmen in the future. Until Lin Luoran returned to the Earth. The remaining 4 jade plates scattered in the war were also found one by one. The farthest one had been out of the Alpha Alliance and became the private collection of a high-ranking member star aristocrat. Mu Tiannan felt that it was time to free the Earth from the oppression of the Alpha Alliance. Of course, he could live to see the dawn of victory on the premise that he got rid of the old bat and the bloodline first. Over the years, he had done many things that violated his principles for them. The more he knew about the monster race, the more Mu Tiannan guessed that the old bat was not only interested in the 12 jade plates. It taught him body refining and monster cultivation because it regarded him as a stove. However, he didn't expect that Lin Luoran was also involved in the secret land. Before he had time to cut off his disgraceful past, he was completely exposed in broad daylight and had nowhere to hide. Except for the obsession in his heart, Mu Tiannan explained everything clearly. Although he was calm, he actually got rid of the biggest burden. As he said, he had been stained with the darkness that couldn't be washed away. If Lin Luoran couldn't accept it, they couldn't even be friends. Mu Tiannan's story was not suitable for everyone to listen to. Others had already found an excuse to leave. 2 cups of tea were made in the yard and the tea was already cold. The gourd fruits above their heads had already been picked. Several cucumber vines in the corner of the yard were in the harvest period. The fragrance of tea and fruits floated in the small yard of the Ma family. Lin Luoran didn't react as Mu Tiannan expected. She listened quietly and refilled the tea for Mu Tiannan. Then she asked, "Did you violate your promise to Master Mu?" Mu Tiannan shook his head repeatedly. No matter how serious the blood poison was, he didn't dare to forget his promise to Master Mu. He dared to swear that he didn't hurt his compatriots on the Earth. Lin Luoran shrugs, "That's it. What you have done is much better than what I have done. Why should I look down on you? What did the so-called good and evil in the world of cultivation have to do with each other?" What Mu Tiannan did to the Alliance was just to repay the slaughter caused by the Alliance in the war to invade the Earth. If they were all innocent, what about the people on the Earth who fell from the sky? How big was the blue planet with a population of 6 billion? Lin Luoran suddenly thought of the sponsorship Mu Tiannan mentioned. She asked, "Do I know any of the people you sponsored? With the help of the Bloodline Club alone, you are so sure that the Earth can become independent by taking advantage of the War of the Alpha Alliance?" Mu Tiannan nodded. "Our ancestors have already concluded that I don't need to do too much. I just need to be the fulcrum of the lever. Of course, you know some people. Pang Xianzhong is one of them. The Han family also has the influence of the club. However, in Han Kuei-sheng's generation, the club has let the Han family develop freely. In addition, there is an institution that you should be very interested in." Chapter 540. It is confirmed that Mu Tiannan probably has some backup plan. In theory, the war should not affect the Earth. Lin Luoran feels relieved and she can make arrangements calmly. There was always a shortage of manpower, and any perfect plan could be completely overturned because of a small mistake. Lin Luoran decides to make two preparations. It would be best if the war does not affect the Earth Federation. What she wants to ensure is that even if it does, ordinary people have a way out. In the afternoon, Pang Xianzhong comes to the villa. Seeing Mu Tiannan is also here, he knows that the misunderstanding between his benefactor and Mortal Heart Fairy should be cleared up. He didn't understand why his benefactor didn't recognize Mortal Heart Fairy when they were old friends. At this moment, seeing the two sitting calmly under the tree, he feels very comfortable. The first thought that comes to Pang Xianzhong's mind is a little reckless. They are the people of the same world. After a secret talk, Lin Luoran personally contacts several decision-makers of the Earth Federation for the first time except Pang Xianzhong, including several important figures of the military. They use Xiaoji's private network and have a 4-hour video conference. Their doubts are explained by Mu Tiannan and Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran's proposal is the most favorable for the current situation. In this interstellar war, the Earth Federation should not think about taking advantage of the situation to expand. Preserving what they already have is the top priority. In the evening, Lu Qingdai has arranged everything and Lin Luoran appears on Mount June as promised. Different from the Miaoyin spell conference last time, Lin Luoran's fame and status at this time no longer need to be deliberately promoted. The cameras, quietly set up on Mount June Island, are just to broadcast the picture to more people of the Federation. Lin Luoran goes to the island and talks with Xiaofei and Xiangfei. At 8:00 sharp, she flies into the air on time. She summons a white cloud to take her seat. She is not as grand as her first appearance. Her clothes and dressing are very ordinary. However, when she stands on the cloud and speaks, people even have the illusion of golden light flashing behind her. "People of the Earth Federation, I am Mortal Heart." Lin Luoran's voice spreads to every corner of Dongting City by the holy spell. As long as you are a follower of Lin Luoran, the soft but firm female voice seems to be ringing in your head. It is very clear. In places where the sound can't reach, there is also a broadcasting system to broadcast the speech. Xiaoji even plans to hack the most widely watched interstellar channel of the Alpha Alliance so that all the Earthlings in the Alpha Alliance can hear it. I know that you must be in a state of anxiety right now, worrying about whether the war that almost destroyed Earth will strike again. More than 300 years ago, the Alpha Alliance made the people on the Earth homeless. Their homes were scorched and they slaughtered civilians on the Earth. As the saying goes, you will get what you sow. More than 300 years later, they finally get what they deserve. People of the Federation, I apatheticized myself before the new era to guard the waters of Dongting, but I didn't show up when the Earth was in the most difficult situation. For this reason, I blame myself and feel guilty all the time. However, this time, I am in Dongting, beside each of you. I am with you. The Earth is still too weak. I can't make a decision to let any precious life face the artillery fire. Therefore, what I said to you today is not to encourage you to participate in the war. Some people will ask, should we pretend that the blood feud never happened? Should we deceive ourselves and not think about it? Before we become stronger, I hope you can be safe and worry-free. Leave your precious lives and watch the victory of the Earth in a few years. Our victory does not lie in killing the same life to show our strength. Our victory does not lie in bullying other weak planets to show our strength. Our victory is to let our home planet, Earth, stand upright among the vast stars. It is not a shameful colonial star, and it will not be enslaved and oppressed by any alliance. Our victory is that one day, every Earthling from the Earth Federation to the boundless universe will be able to straighten their backs and conduct themselves. Our victory is that one day, you will all be proud of your birthplace on the Earth. For you and your descendants to witness the arrival of this day with their own eyes, I beg you to come back from the stars. Come back to this Dongting city, which is a little backward and dilapidated compared with the prosperous alien star. Only with the most united faith can we survive the biggest crisis after the new era of the Earth. Dongting needs everyone, and the Earth also needs everyone. I need your faith to build the strongest protective cover in the world. I hope everyone who has given their faith can take root in this land and be the most indestructible cornerstone. As long as you don't give up, I will not give up either. Unless my Godhead is broken, my primordial spirit is destroyed, and my body is gone, I will guard Dongting with everyone. So, please come back. Looking out of the narrow window, Lin Luoran's figure is clear in the air. Every word she says is not to deceive believers but to do her best to expand Dongting City infinitely. Since there are no gods and Buddhas on the earth, she doesn't have to adhere to the restrictions of the Taoist field at the critical moment. Those barren lands can be the new territory for the expansion of her Taoist field. As long as she has enough believers and their faith is pious enough, as long as her Taoist field is expanded, the solid, Dragon King seal, above Dongting City can also be extended. The people are not worried. She, Mu Tianan and others can also fight with the starships that dare to invade. Without the restraint of many civilians, they can fight flexibly and wittily with their strength. If it doesn't work, there is still the monster core in the Green Mountains world. They can attack and defend. The Earth Federation naturally doesn't have to be afraid of this war. Even the two alliances may want to get all the benefits from the Alpha Alliance and the small fish, the Earth, at the same time. Lin Luoran's speech is not long. After a short silence, she hears suppressed crying coming from Dongting City. At first, it is very weak, but soon it converges into a sound wave. All the fear and anxiety that he had accumulated during this period of time were vented out at this moment. The Earthlings were not timid, nor did they lack hot-bloodedness. They only hoped that when they were at a loss, someone could stand up and overcome the difficulties and point out the direction of the road ahead for them. It is said that heroes are created by circumstances. Lin Luoran is the one who chooses to stand up at this time. Along with the cries came the boundless power of faith. In the last defense war of Dongting, Dongting City was safe and sound under the artillery of the Alpha Alliance. They believe in the power of mortal heart fairy, and they also begin to find the faith lost by Earthlings because of the decline of cultivation civilization. Lin Luoran's figure floating in the air becomes clear because of the gathering of the power of faith. Her whole body is bathed in the light of faith. Although she doesn't dress up carefully, she looks sacred and inviolable. After crying, she can feel a tenacious qi rising from the ground of Dongting and flying into the sky. The huge power of faith has disappeared into the nothingness. The Dragon King seal of Dongting City becomes soft from solid at the beginning. It seems to be full of malleability. As a god, any speech and great wish made by Lin Luoran in the Taoist field may be proved by heaven, and the law will respond accordingly. If she breaks her promise in the end, those vows will naturally be proved by her one by one. Her godhead will be broken, her primordial spirit will be destroyed, and her physical body will be gone. Lin Luoran's speech over Dongting has been supported by the federal government in both public opinion and action. On the second day after it was broadcasted, Xiaoji and Mu Tianan made double efforts to ensure that the Alpha Alliance and even other alliances could see it. Since the last Dongting Miaoyin spell conference, the power of faith Lin Luoran has received has increased exponentially. After the speech was published, the Alpha Alliance angrily announced that the qualification of the Earth as a rank 1 member star would be cancelled, and the citizens of the Earth Federation who stayed in other member stars of the Alliance would be expelled. Those member stars didn't push things too far. Although they couldn't violate the Alliance's order, they were willing to do a favor like sending the Earth's citizens back. Now the war is encouraging. The Rank 1 member stars dare to talk big. Who knows if they have something to rely on? Maybe one day they will ask the Earth Federation for help in the future. There is no need to push things too far. Most of the citizens of the Earth Federation are happy to move back to Dongting. However, a small number of them are burdened by family affairs. They look pitiful when they are forcibly sent back to the Earth. Some people of the senior member stars scoff at Lin Luoran's trick of pretending to be mysterious. While encouraging the war, they don't forget to make some ridiculing remarks on the interstellar network. Who will be proud of being a citizen of a Rank 1 member star abandoned by the Alliance? That would be a case of a brain being squeezed by a door. These Alliance people who wantonly show how cool and noble they are will be slapped in the face by their own slap in the near future. At that time, the Earth citizenship they ridiculed has become a safe green card that is hard to get even with money. The Earth Federation has been persuaded by Lin Luoran, so it acts very efficiently. On the second day after Lin Luoran expressed her will, the Federation began to organize masters of martial arts and spirit power among the people of Dongting. With the cooperation of star ships, they began to clean up mutant monsters around Dongting City. Dongting City has to accommodate the people who move back from the Moonstar and Pluto, as well as the population of several gathering places on the Earth. The current city alone can't accommodate all the people even if it is crowded. Expansion is the top priority. The federal government stayed up all night to work out a plan to expand Dongting City. It built 10 big cities around Dongting City and arranged for citizens to move back in batches. The Alliance restricts trade with the Earth, but it can't block Mu Tiannan's private network. Building materials and various supplies are still continuously transported to the Earth. The expansion plan is expected to leave a large amount of idle land between cities. After all, no one knows how long this situation will last. When a large number of people gather together, no matter how much food they have, it will be used up one day. After the land is transformed, basic self-sufficiency can be achieved. In the days of cleaning up mutant monsters, not only Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan do it openly, but even Hu Ji also changes his lazy temperament and works hard without any complaint. As for the siblings of the Ma family, it's finally time to test their results after several years of personal ability enhancement. Colin is also sent to the battlefield. Even Bai Qingxue, who has a low personal ability after being reborn, is not lazy. Only Han Weiya is obsessed with being an elixir apprentice. She really has no attack power. She stays up all day with red eyes in order to prepare various powders useful to mutant monsters. Mu Tiannan's long-cherished wish for many years comes true. This time, he can finally fight side by side with Lin Luoran instead of hiding in the dark. He almost doesn't hold back. He can't even count how many high-level mutant monsters he has killed. If the Federation also calculates the contribution quota for them, Mu Tiannan dares to say that he is the second place in the total score. Even Lin Luoran doesn't dare to say that she is the first. This result makes young Hu Ji, who has many auxiliary functions in the battle, very dissatisfied. He smiles all day long so that 2 pounds of mutant pork can be hung on his mouth. Mortal Heart Fairy leads cultivators to the front line. The bizarre and powerful arts of nature give a boost to masters of martial arts and spirit power who are fighting with mutant monsters. In the past, people only thought that 90% of the Earth's area was occupied by mutant monsters and it was very difficult for humans to win completely. However, now they are forced to a dead end and they have to compete with mutant monsters for living space. They find that mutant monsters can't reproduce indefinitely. Especially high-level mutant monsters also take a long time to form. Killing one means one less. It is not as hopeless as they thought. Monster meat, various materials, and crystallic nuclei are all taken back by the federal government. They record the corresponding contribution points for the people who participate in the battle. Monster meat can be used as a reserve food. Crystallic nuclei can be used as the energy for the operation of the city. They can even be a powerful and effective power for psionic weapons. As long as the mutant monsters are cleared, the infrastructure personnel can start the construction quickly. The expansion of Dongting City is synchronized. Construction robots don't need to sleep and they don't know fatigue. With the cooperation of manpower, it takes less than a month to finish the infrastructure of the first Acropolis. The foundation must be taken into account. The infrastructure must be able to meet the needs of the population explosion. However, the time limit must be met. The experts sent by the federal government have lost a lot of hair. When they see the first Acropolis turn from a barren land to tall buildings, some old scholars are so excited that they faint. The federal garrison sets up layers of defense lines. The technology that they secretly learn in ordinary days is used without reservation. Finally, 2 months later, Acropolis No. 1 announces that the first batch of citizens can move in. At this time, the war between the Alpha Alliance and the two alliances has been in a stalemate period. The Alak Alliance and the Bape Alliance have paid a huge price and they are not satisfied with only getting a little return. They are obviously more willing to completely defeat the Alpha Alliance and then the two alliances can share the spoils equally. Time. Lin Luoran now feels that every second is precious. She can't wait to reach the realm of having thousands of doppelgangers so that she can handle everything. The federal arrangement for the first batch of returning citizens is very transparent and fair. Every class, the proportion of men and women, the capacity of the old and the young have been taken into account. After the first Acropolis is put into use, the federal government doesn't need to waste too much effort. Everyone can perform their own duties to ensure the daily operation of the city. Liao sees that Lin Luoran is so busy that she has lost a lot of weight. This is too rare for a cultivator. It can be seen how exhausted she is. This makes Liao feel guilty. He wonders if he should tell Lin Luoran the truth. However, before he can speak, the person in charge of the organization mentioned by Mu Tiannan before comes back from the outer land and appears in front of Lin Luoran. It is a middle-aged man. The outline of his face is vaguely familiar to Lin Luoran. The middle-aged man claims that his surname is Rong. He is now the person in charge of a Shuangmu Advanced Human Limit Research Institute. Lin Luoran is dizzy because of the long name. However, when the middle-aged man salutes her, she sees a familiar ring. A light green cat's eye stone. Its surname is Rong. Lin Luoran's eyes light up. Mu Tiannan adds fuel to the fire. The predecessor of Shuangmu is actually Lin's pharmaceutical factory. His surname is Rong. Haven't you guessed it yet? How can she not guess it? That honest college student Rong Donglin, the one who treated her and Luodong to instant noodles on the train. Rong Donglin is a modern scholar who always wants to repay Lin Luoran's kindness with his whole life. Why does he also stay? And his descendants even take over the former Lin's pharmaceutical factory? Mu Tiannan said that when he first started the alliance, a lot of financial support came from Shuangmu. As for why the descendants of the Rong family stay, it has to start from the other half of Rong Donglin. Chapter 541. The middle-aged man surnamed Rong is in his 40s. His name is Rong Shihe. As for the mysterious Shuangmu Advanced Human Body Limit Research Institute, when the Earth was incorporated into the Alpha Alliance, Lin's pharmaceutical factory had been committed to the study of ancient prescriptions of Huaxia and led the research of simplifying prescriptions of elixirs in the world of cultivation to serve ordinary people. The Alpha Alliance was interested in the secrets of cultivators, so they were more determined to get Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which had successful technical experience. After Tess moved into Lin's pharmaceutical factory, she made this pharmaceutical group from the center of Chuan province the strongest in the world. The Alpha Alliance also wanted something, so Lin's pharmaceutical factory was particularly eye-catching. According to Tess's arrangement, the descendants of the Rong family who stayed on the Earth took advantage of the time when the Alpha Alliance was hit hard by the shelter of gods. Before the Alpha Alliance could do anything else, they moved Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which was once prosperous all over the world. All prescriptions, research materials, refining equipment, production lines and other key things were destroyed. The real irreplaceable core of Lin's pharmaceutical factory was installed in the minds of the descendants of the Rome family. They followed the plan arranged by Tess and walked step by step safely. After a few years, the Alpha Alliance began to sell gene enhancement fluid to the Earth Federation. At that time, the descendants of the Rome family had already set up a small laboratory on a remote member star of the Alliance with the wealth and technology accumulated by Lin's pharmaceutical factory. They mainly studied the causes of restlessness in mutant monsters after the great changes of the Earth's environment. They tried to solve the internal problems of Earthlings fundamentally. Researchers led by the descendants of the Rome family found that there was a major defect in gene enhancement fluid. Although people could gain strength temporarily, compared with the ancient martial arts of Huaxia which had been passed down for many years to develop human potential through both internal and external cultivation, Earthlings who had been injected with gene enhancement fluid had lost the opportunity to learn how to develop their potential correctly. They even speculate that the cultivation civilization that the Alpha Alliance longs for but also avoids may really disappear from the Earth after this battle under both carrot and stick. Since gene enhancement fluid could make people unable to practice ancient martial arts, cultivation, which had higher requirements on the human body, was obviously strangled. This plan was too insidious, including the invasion of the Alpha Alliance. It was more like someone had made a sophisticated plan to specifically target the cultivation civilization on the Earth. If there was no way to master the so-called secret of longevity, then destroy it. Lin Luoran felt that this was very much like the work of the fake scientists. Use was the first choice. If they couldn't use it, they wouldn't let others use the weapons that could threaten scientific and technological civilization. When the fake scientists used the Star Atlas to transmit the message in the Kalahari Desert, Lin Luoran thought that she might have intended to send it back to her home planet. However, she had stayed on the Earth for too long. Interstellar giants like the Alpha Alliance obviously have the technology to intercept a beam of unknown signal waves in the universe. Therefore, decades later, it was not the power of the fake scientist home planet that attacked the Earth, but the Alpha Alliance, which was the nearest star territory to the Earth. The descendants of the Rome family had deciphered the secrets of the gene-strengthening fluid and felt that they could no longer sit around and wait for death. They changed their name to the Human Body Limits Research Institute and appeared in public again. They did not use the well-known prescription of Lin's in the past. They only improved the gene enhancement fluid and submitted the improved gene enhancement fluid with a higher success rate to the Alpha Federation for testing. Then the institute was recognized. The people who showed up were all locals of the member star where the descendants of the Rome family went. A small institute was recognized because of a breakthrough in research. It was not worthy of the Alpha Alliance's careful investigation. The institute was committed to adding a mild effect to the gene enhancement fluid, which slowed down the speed of gene enhancement and made it safer. At the same time, it would not exhaust the potential of the human body and make the genes of the Earthlings limited by drugs. Almost all the best gene enhancement fluid produced by the institute was sold to the Earth Federation. In the guise of charity, they supported low-level member stars. Other member stars and interstellar agencies also did this kind of good deeds. However, they mainly dumped inferior products, while Shuangmu bought the best products at a very low price. Every tube of gene enhancement fluid sold by Shuangmu had a strict number in order to sell it at a fixed price so that the Alpha Alliance would not find out the secret. Because of its low price, it occupied the market of the Earth Federation, which made the Alpha Alliance aware of it. The institute had to temporarily cut off the channel and could no longer sell gene enhancement fluid to the Earth in a short time. It began to keep a low profile. Until they got in touch with Mu Tiannan. At that time, Mu Tiannan just had the idea of building a bloodline club. The Rome family had also heard of this Mu family who stayed on the Earth and refused to leave. However, the situation was too chaotic when the Alliance incorporated the Earth. The two parties had no chance to communicate with each other. They wandered among the stars and finally Mu Tiannan found them. At that time, Mu Tiannan had just controlled an Alliance politician. Through him, he erased the doubts of the Alpha Alliance. The institute escaped and Mu Tiannan also got strong support. In addition to mind control, what Mu Tiannan could give to the members was to extend their lifespan, which was really good stuff. The club developed very smoothly. The old bat wanted Mu Tiannan to help it collect the 4 jade plates that were lost in the war. Naturally, it hoped that Mu Tiannan's power would be as strong as possible. Therefore, it watched him get involved with the Lin clique, which it hated so much. Roddick of the bloodline was very dissatisfied, but Mu Tiannan and the old bat ignored him tacitly. After steady development, Shuang Mu not only entered the upper class of the Alpha Alliance but also penetrated into other alliances. After gaining a firm foothold, the descendants of the Rong family could finally take out all kinds of precious prescriptions that had been covered in dust in the past. Shuang Mu and the club complemented each other. This time, the two alliances formed an alliance to deal with the Alpha Alliance. Mu Tiannan's club instigated the war as a go-between. Shuang Mu even used a precious prescription as bait to make the two alliances believe that the Alpha Alliance really mastered the so-called secret of longevity and tried to monopolize it. After all, the Shuang Mu Research Institute was also a semi-official certified institution. The two alliances didn't expect that its predecessor was a pharmaceutical group on the Earth of the indigenous planet where they coveted the secret of longevity. The Alpha Alliance also didn't expect that the secret that had been tightly covered these years would be exposed under its nose. Before Mu Tiannan and Lin Luoran confessed, Rong Shihe, the current head of the Rong family, was running around in other stars to implement Mu Tiannan's so-called alliance plan. Of course, he knew that Lin Luoran, whom the Rong family had been waiting for several generations, was back. And she came back in an extremely strong manner. Rong Shihe still remembered the insistence of his ancestors for a lifetime. The Rong family was guarding the property of the Lin family. Now that the master of the Lin family was back, he naturally wanted to integrate all the resources and hand them over to Lin Luoran in person. For several reasons, Rong Shihe didn't rush back to Dongting until he received the message from Mu Tiannan. As soon as he made it clear, he asked Lin Luoran to hand over the Shuang Mu Research Institute. Lin Luoran couldn't help laughing and asked him what she wanted to do with the institute now. Rong Shihe, a middle-aged man, was a little embarrassed. He thought of Lin Luoran's current identity and also felt that he would be split in half by a large number of believers if he asked, Mortal Heart Fairy, to manage these trivial things. Lin's pharmaceutical factory was founded because Lin Luoran wanted to bring the benefits of cultivation to ordinary people. She wanted to be a good person when it was in decline and do good things when it was in power. Lin Luoran could guarantee that Lin's pharmaceutical factory didn't make any money from Huaxia people. Now the Rong family had been running for so many years and they had put in much more effort than the Lin family at the beginning. In the hands of the Rong family, the institute still adhered to the original idea of benefiting the country and the people. Lin Luoran felt that it made no difference whether she took back the ownership or not. How could she have the energy to take care of such a big institution now? Lin Luoran was very happy to see the descendants of her old friends again. As a matter of fact, she just helped the little girl named Tess once on the ice field. How could Tess repay her with all her heart? Lin Luoran refused to take over the institute. Rong Shihe figured it out and no longer insisted. Anyway, he was just a manager and the owner was Lin Luoran. After taking care of it for so many years, the Rong family was both careful and worried about the development of the institute. They were afraid that Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which had been passed down for hundreds of years, would be destroyed in their hands. Now the owner was here and they also had a backbone. They were not as restrained as before when they managed the institute. Lin Luoran knew that Rong Shihe was extremely busy, so she asked him to stay for dinner. In addition to Rong Shihe, there were Lin Luoran, the siblings of the Ma family, Han Weiya, Colin, Hu Ji, Liao, Bai Qingxue, and Mu Tiannan. There was a gathering vitality cultivator, the Fox King of the Nine-Tailed Mountains, the undead Liao, and Mu Tiannan, the big monster. Rong Shihe was trembling during the meal and he was in a cold sweat. However, this meal was the most crowded one in the past 2 months. Although the people here were tired, they were extremely satisfied with a warm dinner. Even Bai Qingxue had a faint smile from beginning to end. The four young people who always felt that she was very cold and didn't dare to get too close to her because of her previous identity felt that the distance between them was reduced a lot. The simple-minded Han Weiya even gave a hairy crab to Bai Qingxue, which made the latter stunned. In the past, cultivators did not pay attention to the desire for food. When their personal ability was not high enough, they would replace it with fasting bolus. When their personal ability was high, they mostly relied on Reiki to survive. At most, they tasted spirit fruits and drank some spirit tea. If they were like Lin Luoran and her apprentices who ate fish and vegetables every day, even their masters would think that this cultivator was hopeless and couldn't get rid of the desire for the world of mortals. Therefore, including the hundreds of years before Bai Qingxue became a remnant soul and was trapped in the abyss, it was rare for her to remember such a warm scene of a group of people sitting down to eat and drink. To put it bluntly, she even forgot what the food tasted like. After being reborn, as a female cultivator in the middle period of training qi and without fasting bolus, Bai Qingxue prepared herself for a long time before she began to eat. Unexpectedly, every dish on the table was not harmful to cultivators because the ingredients were from Lin Luoran's space. Long-term consumption was good for her current personal ability. Bai Qingxue finally opened her mind. However, Han Weiya's behavior of taking food. She only remembered that she had such experience when she lived with her family in a small mountain village before she became a disciple of the school. Bai Qingxue is stunned. It seems that she doesn't reject this kind of behavior that arouses her long-ago memory. Thinking of this, Bai Qingxue's look softened. Finally, she showed the relaxation that was in line with her appearance. She was no longer the fairy, who always had a sense of distance and the soul of gathering vitality inside. Perceiving the change of Bai Qingxue, everyone pays high respect to the simple-minded Han Weiya. The simple-minded Han Weiya is ignorant and smiles back at everyone. Her cheeks are stuffed with vegetables, which makes her look silly. Even Lin Luoran feels that a group of black crows are flying over her head at this moment, cackling and giggling. After dinner, Rong Shihe is sent away. The lively Ma's villa is quiet again. Young people are now responsible for their own fields. It is not easy for them to go home and gather together. Mu Tianan is busy during the day and has to rush back to the Rose Hotel to deal with many trivial things in the evening. He promised Black Tortoise that he would protect Lin Luoran for 100 years. Of course, he hopes that she can be more relaxed. Only when he deals with all threats as much as possible can this sentence not be empty talk. Rong Shihe is gone, and so are the young people. Liao drags Hu Ji away in the name of digestion. Lin Luoran doesn't know if it is her illusion, but she feels that this man and this fox have been acting suspiciously recently. They are nervous all day long. Lin Luoran doesn't know what they are discussing. Only Lin Luoran and Bai Qingxue are left in the yard. This place is very close to Dongting Lake. It is full of water vapor and the air is moist. The small yard is filled with the fragrance of various fruits and vegetables. Smelling it for a long time makes people feel refreshed. In this quiet night and such a warm environment, Lin Luoran always has an illusion that she is still living in the small yard of Lin's family before the new era. It seems that in a blink of an eye, a teenager with a school bag will enter the door first. His friend's eyes are covered by long bangs, and his back is straight. He is dragged here by the teenager for dinner. Occasionally, the male master of the family will come back with a few freshly caught fish. The hostess's signature fish slices will inevitably appear in the kitchen that night. At that time, a certain peach-eyed fox was still a greedy and picky little fox. Goldhawk often caught snakes, which attracted the fat foodie of the Chui family. After all, it has been a long time. Lin Luoran is a little dazed. You really can't see it? Whose idea is it? Bai Qingxue twists a piece of cake mixed with fresh osmanthus flowers and swallows it with tea. She only feels that it is delicious and very tempting. She sighs in her heart. If she also has a portable cave with abundant reiki like Lin Luoran which can shorten the planting time, she is afraid that she will evolve into a foodie sooner or later. Hearing Bai Qingshue's seemingly casual question, Lin Luoran is stunned for a while and then smiles bitterly. I am not blind. He is so dedicated. I am afraid that if I ask him, he will try his best to pick the stars and catch the moon for me. It is a lie to say that I am not touched. In the current situation, how can we talk about love? Bai Qingxue snorts, love is also love. Don't look down on it. Lin Luoran is in a cold sweat. Who taught the old-fashioned Bai Qingxue to speak in such a proud tone? However, she can also understand Bai Qingshue's thoughts. The former White Fairy and Mr. Wu Ye have been chasing each other for so many years. Bai Qingshue's bitter pursuit at this time has no result. Lin Luoran is happy to see that all the lovers in the world are together. It can be a comfort. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran is also a little confused. Fairy. Ha, I called you wrong again. Sister Bai, although I envy you and Mr. Wu Ye for your sincerity for each other, as you said, it will be a disaster if I can't pass the love. How dare I try it easily? What she doesn't say is that if she doesn't figure out her origin, how can she respond to other people's love? If she waited until the day she fell in love and found out that she was really just a chess piece with an incomplete personality, or a substitute for someone else, how could her so-called sincerity be worthy of the person who wholeheartedly loved her? Bai Qingxue shakes her head and wants to say something. However, Lin Luoran pats her forehead and remembers one thing. Lin Luoran takes out a storage bag and the bright sword from space and pushes them to Bai Qingxue. I haven't had a good rest since I came back from Lost Land. Today, I finally remember to return them to their original owners. The former is the secret treasure that she and Bai Qingxue once went to Misty Peak to take out. Most of them are top-grade spirit stones. At this time, Bai Qingshue's personal ability has fallen to the bottom. If she wants to start from scratch, spirit stones are indispensable. As for the bright sword, it was originally given to White Fairy by Yi Zhao. It has a special meaning, so Lin Luoran can't use it anymore. When returning it, she has erased the brand on the sword. At this moment, the bright sword has become a masterless sword again. Bai Qingxue refuses to take it. You don't have to worry about my personal ability enhancement needs. The storage bracelet left by Yi Zhao has prepared all kinds of materials. The consumption in the early stage of personal ability enhancement is not the same as that in the later stage. The things in the bracelet are quality rather than quantity. With what I need now, it is not a problem for me to gather vitality again. I have already said that these spirit stones are for you. As for the bright sword, Lin Luoran nods quickly. Even if I accept the spirit stones, the bright sword is a token of love from Mr. Wu Ye. I can't take it. You don't have to worry about the snow sword. I will find a chance to get it back. I won't let the blue phoenix fly alone. Bai Qingxue finally nods. She doesn't want other things except for the bright sword. She has placed too many beautiful feelings on it. She will refine a better flying sword and exchange it for the snow sword from Baojia. At the same time, by the Dongting Lake, the leaves of a long-leaf willow are almost pulled out by Liao. The beautiful young man rolls his eyes. Anyway, you are a person who once proved the Tao. Can't you have the quality of caring for the environment? Liao glares at him and murmurs, animals also have the quality. The world has really changed a lot. Hu Ji is furious. He really wants to scold that their whole family is animals. Thinking that he can't beat the stinky old man in front of him now, he changes from scolding to laughing. If you have the ability, you can say this to that half-monster. Liao thinks that Hu Ji is too childish and ridiculous. He is always trying to provoke Mu Tiannan. What good does it do for him except to set off Mu Tiannan? Liao sighs, I was worried when I lost my memory. I was even more worried when I got it back. Do you think I should remind Linny not to worry about the mess of the earth? Hu Ji shakes his head. You see, she has spent so much effort. She can even hold back from meeting her family. How can she give up easily? Liao sighs, but once she really succeeds, her agreement with that person. I just want her to have a chance to really live for herself once. Hu Ji snorts, what a bullshit agreement. Go to the person who made it. Can't you force her to buy or sell? Liao looks at him as if he is a fool. Hu Ji is not convinced and rushes to him. The two soon wrestle with each other without caring about their image. The fish and shrimps by the lake flee in panic. After talking for a while, the topic finally deviates from the main topic. It becomes Liao and Hu Ji ridiculing each other. As for whether to confess the truth or not, alas, let's wait. Zhongdu City. Baojia, who has been an ordinary person for a few months, hands in today's trophies. She takes a piece of mutant beast and returns to her rented apartment. She is delayed for some time today. When she returns home, she sees that the caregiver is obviously relieved. Sorry to bother you. I'm a little late today. Baojia has a good attitude. The middle-aged woman nags her about Chao's situation today. When she opens the door and wants to leave, she remembers something. She points to the paper on the table and says that it is sent by the community staff. The caregiver's tone is envious. After closing the door, Baojia picks up the paper. It is a check-in application. It turns out that the staff of the area where she lives sees that she is a young girl with a demented child, so they give her a place in the second batch of people moving to the Acropolis. Baojia looks at the application form for a while. She crumples the paper and throws it into the trash can. Then she goes into the kitchen as if nothing has happened. She makes a simple and nutritious dinner for two. After patiently feeding it to the silly Chao, Baojia cleans up the kitchen. It is very late. After taking a shower and lying on the bed, she can't fall asleep. Yes, she has recovered her previous memory in the Green Mountains world. First, there are some sporadic fragments. The impact of two different identities and different lives makes her flee. But the farther she escapes, the clearer those memories become. She remembers that she lost her parents when she was young. Grandpa gets out of the Hongqi car and picks her up. Then he gets in the car and goes to the villa in the capital. He doesn't say a word all the way. She is too scared to speak. When she gets home, the tough grandpa calls her, Baojia, and buries his head in her neck. Hot tears make her cry. Commander Qin coaxes her in a hurry. After crying, she is extremely dependent on the only family left. She follows Commander Qin wherever he goes. The iron-boned old soldier doesn't know how to coax a child. Whenever he is free, he studies cooking. The older generation is stubborn. If they want to raise a child well, they must let her eat well. Except for the only daughter who has passed away, her grandpa has no other bloodline. After Baojia becomes sensible, she changes her surname to Qin. Later, she goes back to the center of Chuan province to go to school. She makes friends and has the first real friend who is not a fair-weather friend. Commander Qin is transferred back to Chuan province. She also stays. Commander Qin doesn't force her to inherit the family business. He says that she is a girl and the life of a soldier is too hard. He drives her to learn her favorite jewelry design. What happens later? She never regrets the choices she has made. What she regrets is that if she had known that the life of Qin Baojia would be asleep in her early 30s, she should have accompanied the stubborn old man more. She should have joined the army and become a female general who could make the old man proud. She has the ability now. She can fly, but Commander Qin can't see her anymore. Chapter 542. The war between the Galactic Alliance and the Galactic Alliance could go on for decades due to the vastness of the star fields and the large number of member planets. However, the two alliances are aggressive to the Alpha Alliance this time. In the fourth year of the war, the Alpha Alliance has been defeated. The betrayal of the senior member star accelerates the speed of the Alpha Alliance's defeat. Even in this star territory war, the Alpha Alliance has many famous young generals, but they can't turn the tide and pull the Alpha Alliance back from the decline. Among them is Colin's old rival God Sutherland. After the fall of the Caesar Star, this noble general who used to sneer at Colin as a traitor took the Sutherland family to join the Bape Alliance. For God Sutherland. Garter is still alive. Lin Luoran and others have almost forgotten about the Alliance officer who was left on the wild planet. However, his excellent performance in the Alliance war and his betrayal are shaped as a model by the Bape Alliance. His reputation is unparalleled in this star territory. Lin Luoran and others can't miss the news about him even if they want to. Judging by Mu Tiannan's eyesight, this person is a bit weird now. He is not a real human at all. His body should have died 10 years ago, but it is controlled by a group of power. He talks and acts like ordinary people, but he is a real, living dead, inside. Mu Tiannan's appraisal reminds Lin Luoran and others of the goblin who escaped because of Hu Ji's carelessness on the wild star. When they talk, Mu Tiannan hears that goblin has no real body and can only live in the body of other creatures. He suddenly remembers an old thing. It was when Lin Luoran just returned to the Earth from the alien star territory. When she held the Miaoyin Spell Conference in Dongting, the Alpha Alliance launched an airstrike against Dongting City. When Mu Tiannan passed by the space station on the back of the moon star, he found the breath of monsters. That was the base of the Alpha Alliance's airstrike. The goblin participated in it, so it was obviously hostile to Lin Luoran. This statement makes everyone vigilant. No matter whether the body is controlled by the will of God or the goblin, it is not friendly to Lin Luoran. Naturally, it will not be friendly to the Earth Federation. As senior generals of the Alpha Alliance, they don't mind. Anyway, they have offended the Alpha Alliance. But at the critical moment, this guy turns to Bape Alliance who is about to win. Bape Alliance is trying its best to promote him. Lin Luoran feels that after the two alliances deal with Alpha, their attitudes towards the Earth may change. Colin cursed the Sutherland family for being so persistent. When he opened his mouth, he revealed his white teeth. Before the fall of Caesar Planet, Colin had contacted his family several times, begging them to give up on Caesar Planet. He had already helped them apply for temporary residence in Wei City. Lin Luoran doesn't object to this. Unlike the Sutherland family, which is famous for its military exploits, the Weir family, where Colin is from, is not glorious. Later, they are not recognized by the mainstream of Caesar's star, so they don't participate in the army. More than 300 years ago, the Alpha Alliance invaded the Earth. If the Sutherland family actively fought for military exploits, the Weir family did not participate at all. Lin Luoran has known this for a long time, so she can be kind to Colin. The alliance is hateful, but not everyone is her enemy. Colin's plan is very good. He withdraws the main force of his family before the Caesar star completely falls. However, this family with Waterside Red as its emblem is not very glorious. Usually, it is like a fence-sitter. After the current patriarch of the family handed over the descendants and the foundation accumulated by the family for many years to Colin, he died on the battlefield against the Bape Alliance with the power of the family. The decadent image of the Weir family for hundreds of years is reversed overnight, forming a sharp contrast with the Sutherland family. No matter who will occupy today's star territory of the Alpha Alliance in the future, or which force is in power, the people who once lived in this star territory will only praise the Weir family who died for the country, even if they say they must obey the Sutherland family. After reading the patriarch's last words, Colin understands that the patriarch has been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. The Weir family couldn't bear the shame forever. Only fire and blood could burn away the shame that had been added to the family's reputation. After this battle, the Weir family would be full of loyalty. Those who survived would definitely be able to join the real noble circle of the vast star area. That is the pursuit of all the previous patriarchs, including himself. The patriarch of the Weir family died for a reason. After the family elites move into the temporary residence area applied for by Colin, the Earth's people are surprisingly friendly to them. Compared with other alliances who apply for temporary residence with various excuses and pay a lot of money, the Earth's people still respect martyrs in their bones. It has nothing to do with their standpoint. It's just because they have similar experiences. In the 6th year after Lin Luoran returned from Lost Land, the 10th super defense city is built. This speed of building a city can be called a miracle in the history of architecture. Abandoning all kinds of unimportant urbanization, the priority is to arrange the largest population. Compared with Dongting City, which has been expanded 3 times, the living environment of the defense city is not very good. Many people live in small apartments. However, compared with the fate of some member stars of the Alpha Alliance, they feel that they are lucky enough. Han Kuei-sheng is extremely glad that he made the right decision in time. Because of the news of Pang Xianzhong, the Han family funded most of their family business to the federal government long ago before the relocation plan was launched. In exchange for the opportunity to move the whole family to Dongting City. Now there is a large area outside Dongting City which has been rebuilt. It also has a high status. Other big businessmen who are a little slow are envious. Han Kuei-sheng is more satisfied that the place where he lives is not far from the Ma's villa. Han Weiya often comes to see him. Later, Pang Xianzhong's secretary also introduces him to the Shuangmu Research Institute. This infinite crocodile, lurking under the eyes of the alliance, coincides with Han Kuei-sheng's idea. He and Rong Shiha regret not meeting each other earlier. They take advantage of the Alpha Alliance being busy to make money from the war. Seeing that they can even smuggle a battleship back, a professional battleship, Lin Luoran turns a blind eye and lets them do whatever they want. In 6 years, the 10 defense cities originally planned can't meet the demand. Not to mention the alliance people who apply for refuge on the earth in every possible way, the migration of human settlements in the Grand Canyon of East Africa has put pressure on the urban population. The federal construction team has never really had a rest. However, Lin Luoran is very satisfied when she sees tall buildings rising from the ground. The concentration of the power of faith makes the Dragon King Taoist seal expand successfully as she expected. As long as the people's will is indestructible, Dongting City will be fine. The defense cities covered by the Taoist seal will also be safe. In recent years, Mu Tiannan has taken care of all the trivial things. Lin Luoran once had a closed-door training for a year to stabilize her personal ability of the middle period of gathering vitality after she sensed the gold of the 5 elements. Many things have happened in the past 6 years. What makes Lin Luoran the happiest is that Fire Phoenix and Silver Fish, which were seriously injured in the Green Mountains world, are finally healed by the 10,000-year hollow azurite, nourishing them like it costs nothing. She can also gradually face the Gold Hawk calmly. 4 of the 5 elements in the space are all idle. Only the silver fish can occasionally appear outside the space with the help of the dragon skeleton. It casts clouds and rain above Dongting Lake in the appearance of the dragon race, attracting people's incense. The other 3 monsters can't get out of the space. Lin Luoran has a headache all day long. As a result, Liao teaches her a very effective method. Lin Luoran tries to make a set of Huaxia Mahjong with 10,000-year hollow azurite and Green Mountains jade. She summarizes various ways of playing and throws them to the 4 monsters. Lin Luoran's world is finally quiet. The loser has to pay tribute. Little Silver Fish is very lucky. Fire Phoenix comes up with a bad idea. After 4 rounds of Mahjong every day, the one who loses the most must tell a gossip about his involvement. Wood Wolf loses in the end. It tells embarrassing stories such as peeping at deer monster bathing when it was young. It even tells the reason why it stayed on the earth as the young master of the wolf race when the monster race migrated. It is ridiculous to say that the arrogant little wood wolf is plotted against on the way of transmission. It falls out of the space node and falls back to the Naku grassland of the earth. If it hadn't found the green light flower and a group of prairie wolves, it would have become the most miserable monster in the history of cultivation, falling to death. This is why Wood Wolf refuses to mention what happened in the past. Lin Luoran has learned from Black Tortoise. She has almost figured out what happened in the past. The information Wood Wolf says is not so important anymore. She remembers the old story of meeting the fake saintess and the ancestor of the monsters of wood when she returned to ancient Babylon. In the end, the two probably entered the stone gate of the Tower of Babel together. The fake saintess failed and returned. However, the ancestor of the monsters of wood has never been heard from since. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether he has successfully gone to the place he wants to go. At that time, some well-informed people in the world of cultivation had already started to leave the earth, right? In the 5th year, Rong Shihe is over 50 years old. Lin Luoran sees him working hard and asks him if he is willing to cultivate. He is the blood of the Rong family and he has been guarding Lin's pharmaceutical factory for hundreds of years. Lin Luoran still wants to protect this descendant of her old friend. However, Rong Shihe, who has no Taoist root, refuses Lin Luoran's proposal. His move is beyond everyone's expectation. Cultivation, power and longevity. Such a cycle is enough to tempt every ordinary person like a moth to the fire. Rong Shihe is getting old, but he can resist the temptation. How can people not be surprised? Rong Shihe, who is over 50 years old, looks very calm in front of Lin Luoran. Tess, the wise ancestor of the Rong family, once said that if the descendants wait for Lin Luoran and the Rong family have the Taoist root, Lin Luoran will definitely suggest them to cultivate. At that time, they can choose a good person to step into the path of cultivation. However, if Lin Luoran comes back and there is still no one with the Taoist root in the Rong family, it means that after many years, the Rong family is still not destined to be an immortal. They can't force themselves to cultivate. Don't be greedy for things that don't belong to you. Only then will you be satisfied and happy. After hearing this, Lin Luoran feels sorry that she can't meet the adult Tess in her lifetime. Rong Shihe refuses, so Lin Luoran doesn't mention it again. In the past, she rashly built the Taoist root for Han Weiya and Lin Luoran. In fact, it was very inappropriate. If she hadn't had a sincere talk with Black Tortoise, she would have never opened her closed ocean of consciousness. Cultivation still depends on chance. Building the Taoist root for others casually is also suspected of disrupting the destiny. Just like Colin and Han Weiya, Lin Luoran doesn't know where they can go on the road of personal ability enhancement. The acquired Taoist root is always fake. Colin also has the Taoist root of two natures. Compared with Ma Shuangshuang, who has the same aptitude, he is not as good as Ma Shuangshuang in terms of the perception of Reiki between heaven and earth and the speed of training Qi into the body. Among them, Bai Qingxue has the fastest progress in personal ability enhancement. She is a cultivator in the middle period of training Qi who is in the late period of gathering vitality. With the resources left by Yi Zhao, she succeeds in laying foundation again. It is at the end of the 3rd year and the beginning of the 4th year. Bai Qingxue has the corresponding state of mind, so she is not afraid of unstable foundation. She cultivates hard. She just hopes to go faster and faster so that she can catch up with the footsteps of Yi Zhao, who successfully passed the divinization doom and ascended to the spiritual world more than 1,000 years ago. Mu Tiannan's blood poison is suppressed by the snake fruit, but it still breaks out from time to time. Every time there is a sign, he refuses to help and hides in the big suite of the Rose Hotel and refuses to go out. The desire to suck blood gnaws at his spirit. What Mu Tiannan wants to defeat is the blood demon living in his heart. Once, the blood poison breaks out for a long time. Pang Xianzhong hears that the door of the suite of the Rose Hotel has been closed for more than half a month. He is very anxious to find Lin Luoran. The thick door can isolate the sound in the room, but it can't hide from Lin Luoran's ears. She can hear a burst of beast-like low panting from the other side of the door. He is trying his best to restrain himself, but he is still moaning like a wounded cub. Lin Luoran can imagine that in the luxurious suite, Mu Tiannan, who is tough, is in great pain that makes him moan like a beast regardless of his image. Lin Luoran sighs. It turns out that the blood poison in his body will still break out. It just turns the continuous pain into poison that accumulates in the body. Although there is an interval, every time it breaks out, it is really fatal. Hearing her sigh through the door, Mu Tiannan, who is curled up in the room, has a brief sobriety. Then his whole body is completely stiff. Just like he used to want to maintain a good image. After killing the old bat and covering up the unbearable past, he will calmly appear in front of her. However, all the darkness is exposed to the sun by accident. Besides, at this time, the person Mu Tiannan wants to see most but also least is Lin Luoran. Don't come in. I don't want to scare you. Mu Tiannan tries his best to keep his voice natural, but his depression can still be seen in the sentences. Lin Luoran is silent for a long time. Then she answers in a low voice, okay, and turns to leave. She sits quietly for a long time on the small terrace of the Rose Hotel, which is different from other interstellar hotels. She has mixed feelings in her heart. In the 6th year, the Alpha Alliance is defeated, and all the people of the Federation have moved to the safe zone. The increasingly severe situation makes the federal government implement trade tightening. Except for strategic reserves, it tries to reduce the contact with the outside world. In the seemingly paradise environment, people gradually feel at ease. In fact, the Federation's control has been deployed beyond Pluto. It monitors at all times and will not let go of any clues. Lin Luoran has handed over the trifles to others. She concentrates on taking care of various seedlings and seeds in the space. Now some delicate fruit trees outside Dongting City begin to bear fruit gradually. Although the fruit taste is not pure and the fruit is pitifully small, those volunteers who once took the initiative to ask for land are still very happy. Starting from this summer, some people start to sell their own fruits and vegetables on the streets of Dongting City. Lin Luoran sees all kinds of hawkers on the street. She wonders if she has traveled back to the new era. A large area of pine trees planted by Han Weiya is also harvested. Everyone in the family has a handful of fragrant fried pine nuts. Han Kueisheng holds the pine nuts harvested by his daughter all day long. It doesn't take long for him to have the so-called melon seed teeth. A small piece is missing from the door, which makes Boss Han even more serious in front of outsiders. Dongting has completely become the administrative center of the Earth Federation. Pang Xianzhong becomes the youngest central sequence number 2 of the Federation. The affectionate title, Mr. Pang, has been with him until now. Among the people sponsored by Mu Tiannan, Pang Xianzhong gets the greatest support. He also deserves this support. At the age of knowing destiny, he has become a mature and outstanding politician. In the winter of the 6th year, Lin Luoran and Bai Qingxue, who usually practices hard, walk on the street. Hu Ji shamelessly follows them and says he is willing to carry their bags. The spring festival of the old calendar is coming. Lin Luoran takes a break from her busy schedule. She hopes that she can have a lively and warm spring festival this year. Hu Ji shamelessly follows Lin Luoran and says he is willing to carry her bags. There are many kinds of high-tech products. Even the sound of firecrackers is simulated. Bai Qingxue is sharp-eyed and finds an old lady with silver hair is surrounded by a group of people at the corner of the street. The spring festival is approaching. With the sponsorship of a big businessman, there is a simulated snowflake in the 3rd defense city today. In the artificial snowflakes all over the sky, the old lady's hand holding the scissors is very steady. She lowers her head and focuses on a stack of red paper in her hand. Is it a handmade paper cut? Lin Luoran is also interested. Even in Huaxia before the new era, this ancient craft gradually faces the decline of no one to inherit it. Unexpectedly, in the interstellar era hundreds of years later, when the ancient civilization of the Earth is almost destroyed, she can still see such a veteran craftsman. Bai Qingxue also shows a look of nostalgia. When she was a child before she joined the Misty Peak, every spring festival, the villagers could carefully prepare some meat that they could not usually eat, fried fruits, and those who cleaned the snow on the windowsill and carefully pasted paper cuts. After personal ability enhancement, there is naturally no spring festival in the world of cultivation. Bai Qingxue kind of understands why Lin Luoran is stubborn and reluctant to let go of the world of mortals. Most of the purest happiness and beauty in life are indeed caused by the easiness of being satisfied when she was young. So far, Bai Qingxue also has a serious plan to spend this spring festival. She squeezes into the crowd and asks the old lady to cut a pattern of bumper harvest and cattle and sheep. Holding the paper cut, she finds that Lin Luoran is staring at a certain direction in a daze. Following her gaze, Bai Qingxue finds a person who is not too strange to her. The artificial snowfall brings the chill. Qin Baojia is wrapped in a gray cotton-padded coat and pushing the wheelchair. She looks at Lin Luoran with changing eyes. Soon, her eyes are full of tears. Chao in the wheelchair is full of innocent tears. He is very happy because of the snow falling on his shoulders. Lin Luoran can't bear to be mistaken. She not only meets Qin Baojia, who she hasn't seen for a few years on the street. For a moment, she feels that the real Qin Baojia seems to be back. Chapter 543. Black Tortoise once said that a person's identity is composed of different social relationships. In terms of address, her parents call her Nan Nan when she was a child. When she is older, they always call her Ran Ran. Ordinary friends call her Luoran. When she is a little successful in personal ability enhancement, everyone calls her School Sister Lin, and then Master Lin. Only Baojia, who knows her in her youth, laughs at her for being a cowardly rabbit, so she calls her Luo. Outsiders only know that this is a name taken from the middle character of her full name. No one will know that it is originally cowardly. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of years have passed. Lin Luoran has become a female cultivator of the gathering vitality period. In everyone's eyes, she is powerful and invulnerable. Where is the cowardly shadow? But why is it that when she sees Baojia on the crowded street, she still feels like being entangled by invisible vines? She is so cowardly that she doesn't dare to meet Baojia. With the support of large merchants, snow that could pass for real fell. Many citizens surged out of the streets and alleys. They were excited and overjoyed by this rare white snow. After all, this was the citadel with a high population density. In just a short period of time, the streets became several times more lively than before. White snow falls on the wheelchair. Chao's eyes are filled with the innocence of a child. His pure eyes form a strong contrast with Baojia's long and narrow eyes, which are shimmering slightly. Chao's eyes are ignorant of the world, but Baojia's eyes are experienced. Lin Luoran sees the familiar Qin Baojia in Chao's long and narrow eyes. Lin Luoran is afraid that her cowardice may be just her illusion. They accompany each other and spend their teenage years in the misty rain town. They are admitted to a university in Rong City and stay in Rong City to work together. For a long time, one is a rebellious girl who lost her parents when she was young, and the other is a cowardly and honest country girl. They only support each other. Although they are not related by blood, they are closer than sisters. They will not turn against each other because of interests. Such an important Baojia is lost by her. Lin Luoran has regretted it countless times. Is it a mistake to take Baojia on the path of cultivation? Just like how she insisted on letting her mother cultivate. If it weren't for her greed, it wouldn't be difficult for her to protect her mother and Baojia for a lifetime with her ability. Due to various reasons, now she is only a few meters away from Baojia. However, she doesn't dare to step forward and ask, Baojia, are you back? Baojia's eyes are shining with tears. She is not surprised to meet Lin Luoran on the street. She picked up the application she threw away 6 years ago and came to the third defense city. She knew that they would meet one day since they are so close to each other. But she didn't expect that it would be so long. Lin Luoran is so stupid and cowardly. Baojia sees that Lin Luoran can only stand there stupidly, so she pushes Chao forward. She blinks back the tears in her eyes and pretends to be relaxed. Long time no see, little Luo. Lin Luoran starts to think that there is something wrong with her hearing. 2 minutes later, Baojia is still looking at her with a smile. A smile slowly appears on Lin Luoran's face. As she smiles, her tears fall down uncontrollably. On the crowded street, a bearing essence female cultivator and another gathering vitality female cultivator hug each other and cry regardless of their image. Hu Ji's eyes twitch. He feels that women are really complicated and difficult to understand. Bai Qingxue smiles gently. She is happy that Lin Luoran's long-cherished wish for many years comes true. She asks the old lady to make a lot of paper cuts. There are bumper crops, lotuses and fish, and New Year pictures. She has a hunch that this will be an unforgettable spring festival of the new era. Well, it is better to post this New Year picture on the second floor. The real Qin Baojia not only comes back, but also recovers her memory a few years ago. When Lin Luoran learns the truth, she is so angry that she cries again. Baojia looks at her red rabbit eyes and feels speechless. Although she remembers her former life as Qin Baojia, she has been living as Nolan for nearly 100 years. She had lived for nearly 100 years as Nolan. Two different lives and two completely different personalities had caused a battle between the two personalities in her sea of consciousness. She had no choice but to leave at that time. After giving up the identity of a cultivator and living as an ordinary person with Chao for many years, Baojia can only fall asleep peacefully at night when she is extremely tired during the day. Qin Baojia has been thinking about how to distinguish which life is what she really wants for a few years. In fact, whether it is Qin Baojia or Nolan. Nolan's identity was that of a noble lady. Baojia's wandering life is concentrated in the days of interstellar wanderings. She has personal ability, but her memory is blank. Now thinking about it, no matter who reaches out to her at that time, she will grasp it tightly, right? That's why she cares so much about the identity of Nolan. She cared so much about the identity of Nolan. Compared with the so-called inheritance, Baojia cared more about having a name and living as a real person. At that time, Lin Luoran suddenly appeared. For Baojia, Nolan is about to be completely overthrown. Nolan is about to be completely overthrown, which makes her panic and uneasy. Therefore, she escapes again and again. She first leaves Nami Star. When she is stimulated by the fake saintess in the Green Mountains and her memory begins to really recover, she leaves Dongting. After escaping for so many years, Qin Baojia finally understands. No matter what her name is, she can't change the surname of Qin in her body. Even if she is Nolan, she has a longer life. However, the distant and powerful Nami Star is not as comfortable for her as this dilapidated earth. The high red wall of the capital is still there. Commander Qin is gone, but Lin Luoran is still there. In the longer years to come, they will still support each other and continue to travel together. This is enough. Therefore, she is still willing to be Qin Baojia with only 30 years of memory. She doesn't need to say these words to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran still looks at her with a kind of distressed eyes. Such tacit friendship allows her to choose according to her heart and there will be no other regrets. Baojia is back. How can Lin Luoran let her sit in the third defense city which is a little far away? There are so many people living in the Moss Villa, but it is a little small. No one can imagine that Mortal Heart Fairy doesn't live in the Dragon Palace. She has lived in the small villa by Dongting Lake for so many years. Without revealing her identity, Lin Luoran spends a lot of effort to buy the villa next door. Mu Tiannan is probably tired of living in the Rose Hotel, so he buys another one at the same time. In the end, Liao and Hu Ji also buy it. Lin Luoran doesn't know where he and Hu Ji get so many properties. It should be known that the residence qualification in Dongting City is very difficult to get. Now few people will sell properties in Dongting City. Bai Qingxue was once a grandmaster. She doesn't feel comfortable living in other people's house for a long time. She casually sells something to Han Wei's father. Lao Han is so excited that he takes the initiative to handle the transfer of a villa for her. Bai Qingxue doesn't need to do anything. In fact, it is not a secret that Lin Luoran lives in this villa community. However, even if Han Kueisheng has a daughter who cultivates with Lin Luoran, Lao Han is very smart and never wants to buy a house in this community, not to mention other smart politicians or the Lu family who are in awe of Lin Luoran. The 5 nearest villas are bought, forming a small circle with the Ma family, separating other residents from the small circle. In order to ensure privacy and for the liveliness of living together, the 6 houses, including the Ma families, were surrounded by a bamboo wall that was as tall as 2 people, completely blocking their line of sight. Another door was opened on the side by the lake. Baojia loves hibiscus flowers. Lin Luoran helps her grow a few drunken hibiscus flowers and plant them in the yard. The flowers are tall and their branches reach the window on the second floor. In the early morning, when you open the window, you can see the lake, mountains, and green flowers. It is really a great enjoyment. Mu Tianan strengthens the soundproofing function of the villa. He knocks out the complicated design and transplants all kinds of expensive roses to fill the yard. The fragrance of the flowers attracts butterflies, and other residents also want to see what is going on through the gaps of the bamboo wall. Liao's villa. Liao has hidden his strength for a long time, but it is really exposed by a villa. Since living alone in a house, Liao has been mysterious all day. Lin Luoran feels that she has neglected him recently, so she makes an appointment with Mu Tianan and Baojia to see him. When they arrive, they find that Hu Ji is also there. He looks flustered and gloating. Lin Luoran is suspicious. Baojia opens the door casually. Poor Liao is carving in front of a table of bamboo. Seeing that he is disturbed, he waves his hand discontentedly. Zhu Yi, the master is not thirsty yet. Lin Luoran sees him working hard and wonders, who is Zhu Yi? It seems that they are right to come here today. They usually ignore Liao so much that they don't even know that he has hired a nanny. As soon as Liao hears Lin Luoran's voice, his hand fiddling with the bamboo carving becomes stiff. He looks up and glances around. He can't wait to kill Hu Ji, who is hiding behind Lin Luoran and peeping at his expression. He thinks angrily that people who are not of the same kind must have different intentions. However, at this moment, it seems that Liao doesn't die fast enough. A maid in an ancient costume wearing green gauze with half of her breasts walks in gently like a weak willow in the wind. Master, do you have any orders for Zhu Yi? After her, Zhu Er, Zhu San, and Zhu Si appear in turn. Baojia is stunned, and so is Lin Luoran. Only Mu Tiannan's expression remains unchanged. Hu Ji takes the opportunity to slip away quietly. Baojia obviously doesn't expect this old man to be so wretched. Lin Luoran is stunned, but she vaguely feels that the scene in front of her is a little familiar. Which year was it? She went to the Fragrant Hill Villa in the capital for the first time. She saw a group of maids bowing and greeting, Master. Mu Tiannan can't enjoy the attention from his side. He looks calm, but in fact, he wants to slip away like Hu Ji. Those frivolous years. It's not that he doesn't want to take revenge, but it's not the right time. Liao raises his hands to surrender. I can explain. Listen to me, his voice is too tragic. It's almost the end of the year and everyone is here. Soon, they come to watch under the leadership of Bai Qingxue. Seeing a few sexy girls in revealing clothes, Ma Shuangshuang and Han Weiya scold, old man, and stomp away. Bai Qingxue is well informed. Compared with some girls in the Devil's Doctrine, these girls in front of her are very conservative, so she is also very calm. Ma Yiming, who would rather break than bend, also feels that Liao hides a few girls dressed like this in the villa, which is really a disgrace to him. Out of respect for the elders, he blushes. He doesn't know whether to leave or stay. He is in a dilemma. Only Colin Weir used to be a playboy. Since he decided to follow Lin Luoran, he hasn't been like this for a long time. He secretly gives Liao a thumbs up to show his admiration. Liao cries loudly with a sad face. It's a misunderstanding, but unfortunately, no one listens. It's over. His image in the little school sister's heart is ruined. Holy thunder will fall from the sky and kill him on the spot. If he wants to explain things clearly, he must expose his strength. After Liao regains his memory, he regrets the image he has built over the years. He is actually a mellow young man in a wretched coat. Hu Ji once sneered at him, "Why don't you say you are a mellow young man?" Recently, he has been so low-key and has been working hard to build his positive image. Is it going to be destroyed? Liao looks at everyone making an expression of, "I didn't expect you to be this kind of person," to him. They all shake their heads and leave. He really wants to hit the wall. The 4 leaders who have been watching silently in space start to gamble under the leadership of Fire Phoenix. Fire Phoenix says, I bet a cucumber. This guy will definitely take the initiative to surrender in less than 2 days. Little Silver Fish thinks for a while, 2 cucumbers a day. It is as concise as ever. Gold Hawk says you are really naive. Wood Wolf, who has been losing so much recently that he wants to cut off his hands, shouts with red eyes, I bet a cart of cucumbers. Liao will tell the truth within 2 hours. As for the final result, Wood Wolf wins completely for the first time. Fire Phoenix personally guards the cucumber vine in Lin Luoran space. Even with the speed of growth in space, it still takes 5 days to gather a cart of cucumbers. It throws them all in front of Wood Wolf and smiles sinisterly, you win, little Wood Wolf, I didn't expect you to have such a weird taste. Silver Fish doesn't know what it means. Gold Hawk says that Fire Phoenix is the most evil party leader among the 4 leaders in space. Liao holds a pile of bamboo carvings and takes Bamboo One to confess. He performs, Big Bamboo Man, in front of a group of people. Liao's grievances are finally cleared. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to ask when Liao regains his personal ability. She is very surprised by the bamboo carvings on the ground. Bamboo One, who used to be a child with big breasts, has now become a small and delicate bamboo carving. Faint Reiki comes from the center of the bamboo carving. What is this? Ma Shuang loves the bamboo doll so much. Liao scratches his head, it's a puppet monster. No, this should be a puppet man. The crystal nucleus of mutant monsters is used as energy in the middle. The material is too poor and it is very laborious to make. After listening to him, Lin Luoran finds that the surface of the bamboo doll is really covered by a very shallow pattern. According to Liao, the body of the lively maid is actually the most common bamboo. Lin Luoran has an unfathomable impression of Liao again. Liao's puppet man makes Ma Shuang very excited. Liao proudly tells the general principal. Lin Luoran suddenly remembers the doll she got from Mount Penglai and shows it to Liao. Liao's eyes widen. Although he reunited with Lin Luoran on the N2 trade star, he and Hu Ji went to the Green Mountains during the Miaoyin Spell Conference. However, he has never seen Lin Luoran take out this group of female fairy dolls who play music. At this moment, he sees it for the first time, but he shows a strange look. Lin Luoran continues to ask, but he carefully asks her how she got the doll. Then he sighs, the materials and craftsmanship are all top-notch works. Even I can't make them now. Lin Luoran never thinks that the puppet man made of ordinary bamboo can be better than the one she brought from Spirit Mountain. However, it's fine if Liao praises, female fairy who plays music. Why does he look so proud? She thinks of Liao's complaint about the poor materials. She remembers the spirit bamboos she transplanted into space when she found Ullivan Y's brain in the Sea of Bamboo in the south of Chuan. Because of hundreds of years of reproduction, even if she has been digging bamboo shoots to eat recently, the bamboo forest still occupies a large area of space. She can send some to Liao to make puppets. Compared with the bare-chested maid and female fairy who plays music, puppets should be more useful. However, before that, Lin Luoran interrogates Liao. Liao is still evasive about his origin. Hearing Lin Luoran asking him if he is an immortal, Liao rolls his eyes. No matter who I am, in the mortal world, I can only reach the personal ability of divinization at most. Do you think the law of the world is not to be trifled with? A group of people jeers to see the ability of the divinization period. Liao is so scared that he runs away like a rat. Because several villas are being renovated, the Spring Festival is undoubtedly spent in the Ma family. Lin Luoran remembers the Spring Festival before the new era. She has prepared the New Year's goods early. There are all kinds of candies, fried goods, and smoked bacon and sausages that people in the center of Chuan love in winter. Han Weya contributes pine branches. The smoked bacon is golden and shiny with a faint smell of rosin. On New Year's Eve, she cooks a large table of dishes. Hearing the sound of electronic firecrackers on the street, people at the table eat and drink. They drink up several jars of spirit wine that Lin Luoran brings out. Everyone's face is flushed. This is the first spring festival for me in Shuangshuang. Let me propose a toast to you, Aunt Lin. Ma Yiming's body is a little shaky when he picks up the wine glass. Lin Luoran has just returned to Dongting City. When she borrowed the reading card from him in the city library, she didn't expect that he would be the descendant of the little fatty Ma Ming. After getting along with him for more than 10 years, Ma Yiming has successfully laid foundation with an extremely poor physique a few days ago. Although he is still not as fast as Ma Shuangshuang's personal ability, his life has changed fundamentally. He was forced to be embarrassed by the business in Juzhou Market. Okay. Lin Luoran's eyes are gentle and she drinks up a glass of wine. Aunt Lin, I also propose a toast to you. Ma Shuangshuang's eyes are slightly red. She not only lives over 20 years old. With her current personal ability enhancement speed, she can live to 200 years old or even more. But what if Aunt Lin didn't show up that year? Lin Luoran doesn't say anything. She also drinks up this glass of wine that she has to drink. Han Weiya has a good reason to propose a toast. Shaping the Taoist root is like giving her a new life. She actually has 2 masters on the road of personal ability enhancement. One is Dantling Taoist and the other is Aunt Lin. As for Colin, he is a famous playboy of Caesar Star. Now he is synonymous with competence. In this family, he always does things silently. No one really treats him as a servant, but he does better and more than a servant. Caesar's star has fallen. The earth is more like Colin's second hometown. Lin Luoran has to drink his wine. Bai Qingxue raises her glass. I don't want to say anything. Let me drink up first. White Fairy, who is both a teacher and a friend, thank you for your company for so many years. Lin Luoran drinks so fast that she almost chokes on the wine. Among the people here, only Baojia, Mu Tiannan, and Liao don't propose a toast to her. Lin Luoran and Qin Baojia are sisters for a lifetime. This can't be explained by a glass of wine. Mu Tiannan doesn't propose a toast because he feels sorry that she drinks too much. Liao probably has the same reason. He smiles brightly. After thousands of years of loneliness, he finally waits for this day. Junior sister, we really haven't had a meal together for a long time. Lin Luoran drinks one glass after another. She doesn't use meta to force out the alcohol. Spirit wine has a strong after effect. She gets drunk. The bell rings at 12 o'clock. Bai Qingxue, who also drinks a lot, shakes her. I heard that making a wish is the most effective on New Year's Eve and New Year's Eve. Get up and make a wish. Lin Luoran giggles and mutters, I hope the feast will never end, never end. As long as the feast is not over, everyone present doesn't have to leave. Chapter 544. Not long after the Warm Spring Festival, the news that the Alpha Alliance has made its surrender public suddenly comes out. Such a shocking news not only shocks the Earth Federation, but also many other alliances who are paying attention to the war. They can't help but tremble. After all, the Alpha Alliance is an old interstellar alliance. Its strength is not the top, but it is not so weak. When the news broke out layer by layer, Catherine Gott's name is once again famous within the star territories of several alliances. General Gott not only betrayed himself but also instigated the rebellion of several fortresses. In addition, General Gott contributed the military layout with the power of his whole family. The Alpha Alliance was defeated. The time when they signed the surrender letter was naturally not so surprising. As for the impression of Lin Luoran and others, Colin's words can be used as a summary. They thought Gott was just a bystander. Garter was just a bystander. In the end, Garter became a C-list actor. Everyone thought that he was a dead C-list actor. Garter's portrayal of the villain was unparalleled, and he suddenly won the Best Actor award. Although it sounds ridiculous, everyone present knows that Gott knows that everyone knows his background, but he is still fearless. They don't know why he is so confident. The more powerful his trump card is, the greater the threat to the Earth Federation. Liao secretly makes a gesture of slitting his neck to Hu Ji. Mu Tianan also intends to kill the threat in the cradle. The three of them reach a consensus for the first time. It is not impossible to cooperate with them. However, General Gott keeps a low profile. There are many stars in the Alpha Alliance. The Shuangmu Research Institute and the Bloodline Club can't find his whereabouts for a while. Before Mu Tianan and others find Gott Sutherland. Gott Sutherland shows up in public and suddenly comes into everyone's sight again. Gott Sutherland looks more handsome in a blue general uniform. His appearance fascinates many, stupid literati, in the Interstellar Alliance. General Gott Sutherland appears in the most widely watched interstellar news. A powerful member of Parliament of Bape Alliance personally appointed him as the special envoy to visit the Earth Federation. He announced that General Gott would visit the Earth Federation in person soon. The government of the Earth Federation is so angry that it is weak. From the political level, once the word visit is mentioned, it must mean that both sides have reached a consensus. However, Bape Alliance's move is unilateral. It has openly sent a rising military official to come here. The Earth Federation is just a colonial star that has just declared independence from the Alpha Alliance a few years ago. Even senior members of the alliance know that they should not underestimate an alliance's signal of friendship. After all, even the smallest alliance was stronger than the so-called high-level member planets. It was not wise to use the power of one planet to deal with an entire star field alliance. Bape Alliance's move puts God in the light. Liao and others who originally wanted to kill him to eliminate the hidden danger have to give up their original plan for the sake of the Earth Federation. Only Mu Tianan sneers, then arrange the meeting on the Moonstar. People are not used to Mu Tiannan's sudden coldness. However, Lin Luoran knows that he probably thinks of Sixi of the Mu family when he mentions the Moonstar. That is the written record she saw on the computer when she first returned to Dongting in the New Era. In 2051 AD, the Earth received an interstellar signal, and the people of the world were in an uproar. 2 weeks later, the radio waves were translated. The Alpha Alliance will officially take over the Earth. Don't make unnecessary resistance. Please cooperate. The higher-ups of various countries were in an uproar and sent envoys to the Moon to negotiate. On September 1, 2051 AD, the negotiation officially failed when the Alpha Alliance spacecraft launched energy cannons to blow up Paris, the world's famous capital. The envoys were all killed, and the heroes that history needs to remember are Huaxia country's General Mu Tianqing. Mu Tiannan's sixth brother died on the negotiation table of Moonstar. How similar was the situation at that time to the current situation? However, at that time, the most powerful cultivator on the Earth was just bearing essence. With a large number of Earthlings dragging them down, it was obvious that they could not defeat the Alpha Alliance. But now, it was not so easy for Bape Alliance to revive the past. Lin Luoran, Mu Tianan, Liao, and Hu Ji are all above gathering vitality. For gathering vitality, cultivators don't need to worry too much about the rear. Lin Luoran hopes that Bape Alliance won't regret its decision at this time too soon. A few days later, the visiting group led by Garter hasn't arrived yet. Mu Tianan takes a stack of documents and throws them on the table. Bape Alliance and Alak Alliance have turned against each other. Before the spoils of war are divided, the previously solid alliance has turned against each other without warning. Now they are cleaning up the battlefield separately. Sometimes there are small conflicts between the two sides. Mu Tianan admits that he was paralyzed by the Warm Spring Festival and he didn't judge the situation in advance from the information sent by the club. However, it is impossible to say that there is no one stirring up trouble. The two alliances are afraid of each other, which is extremely beneficial to the Earth Federation. They have to worry about each other stabbing them in the back, so they won't act rashly. Now that they have turned against each other, they won't have this worry anymore. If everything is caused by the goblin, then what does he want to achieve by courting death? Mu Tianan can't figure this out, so he can't make effective measures to deal with him. However, it is obvious that he can't hide his purpose for a long time. Mu Tiannan habitually wants to touch the ring he used to wear on his left hand, but he gets an empty sleeve. He smiles bitterly. It is a habit of hundreds of years. Even if it is a bad habit, it is not easy to get rid of it. After a full 2 months, Sutherland, who is now putting on airs and whetting everyone's appetite. Garter and his entourage arrive at the solar system of the Earth Federation. Mu Tiannan says that the visiting group must be arranged in the Moonstar. Then no one dares to put Sutherland and his entourage on Pluto. Garter and his entourage stay on Pluto. The master of the Liu family is uneasily asked to go to the Liu's house in the 8th district by the Federation. The ancient Liu's house is very suitable as a special culture to receive the visiting group of Bape Alliance. Even though he wants to throw the people of Bape Alliance far away, as a mature and functioning government, he still has to be generous and impeccable on the surface. According to everyone's opinion, Lin Luoran should stay in Dongting City. If anything happens, she can go up to summon believers and defend Dongting first. Lin Luoran readily agrees. She thinks that if a goblin can lead all of them away, the situation of the Federation will become extremely delicate. In the end, Mr. Pang, who has a high reputation among the Federation people, leads the team to the Moonstar. Xiaoji picks them up in person. Of course, on the surface, only senior officials of the federal government go there. Mu Tiannan and Hu Ji go there secretly. A 9-tailed fox king and a half-demon, Sutherland. Before entering the Liu's house, Garter's expression changes greatly. The dead energy in his body makes his cheeks thin. The blue military uniform has a high-standing collar, which tightly wraps Garter's whole body. In the eyes of others, young General Garter lives a strict life. Only Mu Tiannan and Hu Ji, who are hiding in the backyard and drinking with each other, know that under the solemn and straight military uniform, Sutherland's increasingly dead energy has made his limbs grow blue and purple liver mortis spots. This person is a living dead who moves. In Mu Tiannan's opinion, the goblin should have given up this body long ago. However, he doesn't know if it is reluctant to give up Sutherland. This is the privilege brought by the identity of Garter. It actually cares about the body full of dead energy, which is contrary to the behavior of goblins. In the 8th district, all the residents have moved away. The entire city is maintained at the lowest energy consumption. Except for the streets that the Bape delegation passes, only the Liu's house is still brightly lit and slightly lively. When the Bape delegation passes through the long and empty streets, they can only hear the sound of their military boots touching the ground and the lonely echo of their footsteps. It is a bit strange to start a friendship in such a desolate place. Many members of the delegation are discussing this in their minds. However, the small Earth Federation doesn't attach importance to them. According to the information they have learned about the customs of the Earth, the banquet and the mansion they receive are of a very high standard. Sutherland. As always, Garter almost never eats at formal banquets. Because he feels that the breath that once injured him is nearby, Garter hates it and becomes more and more absent-minded. If the powerful monster hadn't been seriously injured, his body wouldn't have decayed so quickly. More importantly, it had caused him to be in a dilemma. Throughout the preliminary meeting, Garter is not in a good state. Pang Xianzhong's fluent interstellar standard language makes him look elegant and approachable. Compared with Garter with a straight face, it is clear who is more skillful in diplomacy. General Garter, who has always been strong, performs poorly. Pang Xianzhong, the representative of the Earth Federation, considerately says goodbye and leaves the Liu's house to the delegation of Bape Alliance. In the dead of night, the entire Liu's house is shrouded in a light cyan mist. Members of the delegation soon fall into a sweet dream. Sutherland is sleeping in his clothes. General Garter turns over and sits up from the soft bed. He walks stiffly along the winding corridor to the backyard and comes to the small courtyard where Liu Qingdai used to live. The Liu family moved back to Dongting and the Liu's house was sealed. This time, it is opened again and the temperature is adjusted. However, there is no way to make the lotus flowers in the small pond bloom overnight to welcome the guests. Even if they can, no one is willing to bother. Mu Tiannan and Hu Ji bet when the goblin will come. Hu Ji looks at the stiff zombie and knows he has lost. He jumps into the small pond and sinks into the water. When he comes out again, he has a few fresh lotus roots and a fat carp in his hand. Hu Ji gives the fish and lotus roots to a docile and pretty maid beside him. He shakes off the water drops on his body like a cat and then sits down again. Sutherland. Garter has been standing in the corridor and watching the two monsters quietly. He doesn't know what they are doing. The maid appears again and serves fresh fish slices and fresh and tender white lotus roots. The dishes are arranged in a unique style. He finally knows that the nine-tailed fox king just jumped into the water to find food. This is obviously not in line with the superior nine-tailed fox family in his mind. In addition, Hu Ji's angry look of stuffing fish slices and lotus roots into his mouth is too childish. The goblin feels that the most threatening one is Mu Tiannan, who once seriously injured it. Mu Tiannan only has one hand, but he is eating more elegantly than Hu Ji, who has a noble bloodline and both hands. After he finishes eating, the maid appears again and cleans up the low table. He looks at the goblin, who has been left cold for a long time. Tell me, what do you want to do by jumping around so hard? Mu Tiannan's tone seems to be chatting. However, Hu Ji, who has been with him for several years, knows that the person sitting opposite is in a bad mood. In fact, he is also in a bad mood. He jumped into the pond to dig lotus roots and catch fish in the middle of the night, which made the Fox King lose face. However, recently, he has been reminded by Liao that a man should keep his temper, so he has been tolerating it. Hu Ji, the beautiful young man, will not admit that Mu Tiannan's steady look has inspired him a lot. Although most girls love beautiful young men with peach blossom eyes and tender faces, Hu Ji has an intuition that Lin Luoran's taste must be different from most girls because of her blindness. The goblin is completely ignored by Mu and Hu. If it weren't for his visit this time, there would be many eyes staring at him in the open and in the dark. He would not have the courage to step into the Lu family's mansion. The goblin has no body and can only rely on other people's bodies. No matter how cunning they are, they will be killed in seconds in front of a powerful monster. Goblins are born in dark swamps with no light. They will dissipate when exposed to the sun. They can't cultivate unless they have a great chance. Once they are born, they will be sinners that will bring disaster to the country and the people. It is afraid of the nine-tailed fox family with noble bloodline and a promising future like Hu Ji. At the same time, it is also very disgusted and jealous. Hearing Mu Tiannan's words, the goblin's nervous mood is slightly relaxed. It says coldly, I am injured. I need Chen Xian's power of faith to heal. Mu Tiannan laughs, and Hu Ji is dumbfounded. They have thought for a long time. It turns out to be such a lousy reason. Hu Ji sneers, what does your injury have to do with us? The goblin's stiff cheeks are a little flushed because of excitement. If you didn't force me out of the human girl's body and leave me on the wild planet, how could I choose a newly dead host body? If you didn't seriously injure me, how could I be trapped in a broken dead body and unable to get rid of it? You owe me, so you have to pay me back. When it comes to cheekiness, Hu Ji claims to be the second most shameless person in the world. Probably only the wretched Liao can compete with him. Hearing the self-righteous words of the goblin, he doesn't feel guilty at all. Instead, he laughs, is your brain also corroded by the dead energy? Since you know that the human girl has been taken over by Master Hu, you still want to occupy her body? It's not easy to escape, but you still come to us on your own. Don't you think your brain is a disgrace to the goblin race? The goblin is annoyed by Hu Ji's words. At that time, Lin Luoran was just a bearing essence cultivator, so he didn't care too much about her. Although there is a nine-tailed fox, it has two tails. The goblin is confident that Hu Ji is no match for it, so it hides in Han Wei's body and waits for an opportunity. Unexpectedly, after it escapes from the savage star, not only does the woman who left it on the wild planet become mortal heart fairy, but there is also a powerful monster like Mu Tiannan on the earth. The two-tailed fox also successfully transforms. The goblin thinks of its backup plan and becomes confident again. Whether you want to or not, you must save me. The warships of Bape Alliance have even set the coordinates of the wormhole. Once the negotiation fails, the army can appear near the earth through the wormhole at any time. After Mu Tiannan and Hu Ji look at each other, the former suddenly asks, "You dare to threaten us with this? I am now General Gott, whom the Alliance relies on. This visit is public. If something happens to me on the Moonstar, I won't end well, but you will also have to bear the anger of Bape Alliance." The goblin is very straightforward. Once something happens to him, no matter whether Bape Alliance really likes him or roasts him on the fire, his safety will be an excuse for the Alliance to take the opportunity to attack the Earth. However, why do the two people in front of him stare at him as if they are looking at a dead man? The goblin feels uneasy, but Hu Ji whistles. In the dark where the light cannot shine directly, a tall and thin man slowly walks out. The new blue military uniform perfectly wraps the tall and thin figure. His light gray eyes have the distinctive characteristics of the Caesars, overlapping pupils. His every move is strict and rigid, and his eyes are firm. He is the familiar Sutherland to the public. General Gott. The goblin suddenly feels cold all over. They really don't have to kill Gott and have a direct conflict with Bape Alliance. But they can completely replace Gott without anyone knowing. Such a perfect body. There is no livor mortis on the exposed arms at all. That is a healthy and ruddy complexion. The goblin suddenly jumps into the pond, and the water splashes everywhere. Hu Ji can't help but step back. Seeing that the little goblin is still trying to struggle, Hu Ji stomps his feet. The empty 8th district is shrouded in a cyan mist. The night is still long. Mu Tiannan decides not to compete with Hu Ji for the opportunity to show off. The beautiful young man smiles a little coldly. A little goblin makes them feel like they are facing a formidable enemy for such a ridiculous reason. How can he not be annoyed? The little goblin has offended the narrow-minded Fox King. He hopes that the gods will bless him tonight. At the same time, a gorgeous starship outside the solar system, after precise positioning, appeared precisely at the gap between the Earth and the Moon through a space jump under the command of a certain fatty. The commander on the starship wipes his cold sweat. The coordinates given by the superior are too remote. This was especially so for this small galaxy with a fixed star as the center. It was far away from the bustling interstellar civilization, and the distribution of the meteorite belt was so confusing that it felt like falling into the clouds. If it was not for the fact that there were intelligent planets behind the meteorite belt, the starships that passed by would definitely ignore this meteorite belt. Following the instructions of the superior, after the starship successfully jumped, the commander suddenly realized that his starship had been surrounded before he could relax for too long. "Your Highness, the situation is not right," the commander is sweating profusely. The chubby prince finally stops eating. Looking at the screen showing that many starships have surrounded him, the prince finally realizes the seriousness of the situation. If he is not careful, he will die before he wins the battle. Hey, he didn't make a mistake. General Akuo, didn't you send a friendly signal in advance? The greeting is not like this. His Highness is chubby, but he is not stupid. General Akuo wants to cry. Your Highness, it turns out that we are here for a friendly visit. I thought you didn't say a word before because you were going to make a sneak attack. How could you expose your whereabouts automatically? But looking at this dilapidated planet, it seems that you have made some preparations. General Akuo is deeply trusted by His Highness, so he naturally knows that His Highness is extremely unreasonable. He doesn't know if God has heard his prayer. The cabin door moves aside, and a beautiful woman in splendid clothes comes in surrounded by maids. His Highness curls his lips and turns his attention back to the chicken leg. Your Highness. Chapter 545. Mu Tiannan and Hu Lin are still playing the game of cat and mouse with the succubus in the 8th district of Moonstar. A huge starship has quietly passed through the defense of the federal government and arrived at the gap between the Earth and Moonstar. The federal government has never thought that it would be so easy to capture the enemy ship. After all, a starship that looks powerful is captured without any resistance. It is really weird. The federal government has been nervous because of the visit of Bape Alliance. It captured the enemy ship but didn't make it public. The poor prince and his princess are both under guard. No matter how he claims to be a friendly envoy, no one in the federal government believes him. The guards are waiting for him. They say that if he continues to clamor, they have to shut his mouth. The Round Prince is quiet for a while, and then he arrogantly makes an unreasonable request like, "Give me 10 servings of boiled fish." After being refused, he puts his ear and asks to see Mortal Heart Fairy. The guards can't avoid his unreasonable pestering. What a joke. They are also believers of Mortal Heart Fairy and they also want to see Mortal Heart Fairy. However, it is not easy for ordinary people to have the chance to become immortals. The prince's pestering is unparalleled in the world. After his request to enjoy the food is refused, he no longer insists that he is an envoy. Instead, he denounces the guards for abusing the prisoners of war and threatens to expose the barbaric behavior of the Earth Federation. The guards doubted whether he could walk out of this place alive. Princess Shekinah, whose patience had finally reached the breaking point, kicked him down. The Round Prince fell to the ground and could not get up. Princess Consort did not have any pity for him. She pulled off an exquisite carved jade necklace from his neck. "If there is a chance, please give this to Mortal Heart Fairy. What we said will be confirmed." Whether it is a conspiracy or not, the request of this generous alien girl is much more reasonable than 10 servings of boiled fish. The jade emits a faint fragrance of medicine, which makes people feel refreshed immediately. The guards dare not touch it at will. They take a sealed metal box and put it in layers. Then they send the jade out. At dawn, Mu Tiannan and Hu Ji return from the Moonstar. After torturing the little succubus for a whole night, the Fox King, who has a beautiful face but a dark heart, finally feels a little angry about being teased. He takes the little succubus back to Dongting. Pang Xianzhong and others are sweating profusely. They spend most of the night checking the captured starship and finally confirm that it is the special starship of the distant Nami Alliance royal family. This is much more serious than offending Bape Alliance. Pang Xianzhong, who is steady, has to come to Mu Tiannan for advice. In the current situation, the people of the Nami Alliance under control have become a hot potato. Whether they are kept locked up or released immediately, it is easy to cause extremely bad political influence if they are not handled well. Hearing that it is the Nami Alliance, Hu Ji wonders, is it a fat man? The specific information was quickly sent back. Although there was another commander on the starship at that time, the fatty's position was faintly superior. Pang Xianzhong nods stiffly, and Hu Ji laughs. After seeing the sealed jade Linglong medicinal jade, Hu Ji asks to see the fatty who is closely guarded. Seeing Pang Xianzhong frowning, Mu Tiannan guesses that Hu Ji must have met an acquaintance. He gives Hu Ji a reassuring hint and asks Pang Xianzhong to arrange for Hu Ji to see a prince of the Nami Alliance. The guards are all gone. It is so weird that the prince can't help but lean towards the princess. "Shekinah, do you think they are going to kill me?" Shekinah glances coldly at her husband who is famous for being useless and cowardly. Without outsiders present, she doesn't bother to talk to him. The fatty snorted a couple of times. That was why he hated it the most when his royal sister had chosen a so-called noble princess for him. In front of others, she looked the same, but behind others, she would change her face. TSK, who would want to stick to her cold buttocks? The fatty's toughness suddenly collapses when the ethereal laughter rings in the empty guard room. No matter whether the princess thinks highly of him or not, he tightly grasps the last life-saving straw. "Shekinah, will you save me? After all, I am your husband. If I die, you can't remarry." It is said that the life of a widow is very miserable. The princess is almost out of breath because of him. She loses her mind for a moment. She thinks that, being a widow, is also a good choice. When she is considering whether to kick him to death, the laughter of the person hiding in the dark gradually becomes louder. The light suddenly turns on again. According to Nami Star's aesthetic standards, a young man with excellent temperament and amiable appearance stands outside the heavily secured guardhouse arc shield. He looks inside with interest at the two people who claim to be husband and wife. Judith, is this your wife? The young man's peach blossom eyes blink. Shukina feels that the air around her has a feeling of lack of oxygen. She bites the tip of her tongue to wake herself up from the illusion of charm. Shukina is very vigilant about this beautiful young man. Your Highness, do you know him? With an outsider present, Shukina becomes a well-educated lady from a noble family again. The fat man shakes his head in confusion. I seem to have heard the voice before, but I have never seen him. Hu Ji chuckles. His voice is indescribably clear and moving. He decides to play with him. He stops smiling and says with a straight face, the Earth Federation has given me the right to deal with you. Let's go. Follow me. Hu Ji crooks his finger at Judith. The fat man finds that he actually easily passes through the arc cage and regains his freedom. Shukina has never seen such a trick before. She doesn't plan to do anything for the time being. Anyway, this young man is so powerful that he doesn't need to use other methods to kill them. Shukina is also secretly relieved that their lives are safe. She is not a naive girl who knows nothing about the world. She knows that even in the Nami Alliance, there are many uncivilized planets. If something really happens to them on the strange and remote Earth, even if the Nami Alliance destroys the small planet to avenge them, they can't see or feel it. Therefore, Shukina doesn't plan to confront them head-on from the beginning. Hu Ji takes them into Dongting City and deliberately looks at the fat man with a cold face. The fat man is racking his brains along the way to think about where he has heard the young man's voice. He doesn't notice that he and Shukina are taken to a villa area. The gentle lake breeze makes the willow leaves on the lake bank shake gently. It also blows away the irritation in Shukina's heart. There are several small buildings hidden among the green trees and flowers that bloom all 4 seasons. For the first time, she is satisfied with the ruined earth. April is the warmest season of the year. With the recovery of the vegetation near Dongting in the past few years, the 4 seasons in the area covered by the Dragon King's seal have gradually become distinct. A small cycle has been formed. There is no need to artificially create the 4 seasons anymore. This is a kind of affirmation for the efforts of Lin Luoran and others. In the courtyard of the 4 paths, Baojia is testing her new flying sword. She casually twirls the sword. When she raises her long and narrow eyes, she is indescribably heroic and dazzling. Shukina secretly applauds. What a beautiful woman. Her Reiki can't be ignored. Feeling that someone is peeping at her, Baojia suddenly changes the sword spell. The flying sword blasts to where Hu Ji is. Hu Ji is so scared that he is in a cold sweat. Sister Baojia, I didn't offend you. After regaining her memory, Baojia is more domineering. She soon subdues King Hu Ji. From time to time, she flirts with Hu Ji. Hu Ji runs away in panic all day. He admits defeat and calls Baojia sister respectfully. Baojia commands the flying sword to bully Hu Ji. She laughs and says, I asked you to deal with the goblin. It took you so long. Why did you bring back a fat man? Although the fatty looked familiar. The fat man bursts into tears. He didn't know Ms. Nolan, the jewelry designer of the royal family. However, after Lin Luoran came to Nami and made such a big scene, he should know her. What Judith doesn't expect is that Ms. Nolan doesn't remember him at all. After all, Ms. Nolan personally made the crown for his adulthood ceremony. Feeling that his existence is not as famous as he imagined in Nami Star, the fat man is depressed at once. Until he sees Lin Luoran, who hears Hu Ji's voice outside and comes out to check, the fat man instantly finds his home like an abandoned puppy. Dear Lin. The fat man makes an excited tremor and flies in the direction of Lin Luoran. Seeing a moving fat man rushing to him, Mu Tianan, who comes out later, feels cold all over. The slow fat man turns a blind eye to it and hugs Lin Luoran tightly. Lin Luoran is surprised and delighted by his pitiful puppy-like expression. Judith, why are you here? Judith shook his fat waist after they parted and complained, Dear Lin, I heard that your hometown was caught in the chaos of war. The brave Prince Judith came to save the beauty from thousands of miles away, but the people in your hometown are too unfriendly. Boo-hoo, the first half of the fat man's words still moves Lin Luoran. However, in the second half, the fat man shouts the names of dishes such as braised pork and boiled fish. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. It is Hu Ji who cleverly explains the reason. Lin Luoran knows that the fat man's mischief has led the Federation to judge Nami's starship as an enemy attack. The fat man loves to eat, but he is not completely stupid. He knows that it will be difficult for Lin Luoran to confront the Federation directly, so he orders them to be captured in a cooperative manner. However, Nami's starship comes at the right time. The Bape Alliance is ready to take action. The Federation is willing to kill 100 innocent people to lock up all the people of the Nami Alliance. After listening to Hu Ji, Lin Luoran turns to look at Mu Tiannan. Mu Tiannan chuckles, the other members of the Nami Alliance have also been released. I'm afraid that Prince Judith has to comfort them personally before they can be completely at ease. Shukina, who had been invisible all the time, stood up gracefully and said, I'll explain it to General Akuo. Lin Luoran and others all stare at Judith. The fat man introduces embarrassedly, this is my sister's new wife. His royal sister married her for him, not because he wanted to. This statement is very imaginative. Lin Luoran sees that Shukina's expression is still decent, but her eyes are slightly dim. She feels that Judith's statement is too disrespectful. Lin Luoran says that she must give them gifts. However, Judith rolls his eyes and adds recklessly, why is Sister Weya not here? I brought her a lot of gifts. Lin Luoran sees the fierce look in Shukina's eyes. She secretly curses Judith for having such a strange brain structure. On the other side, Han Weya turns the half-moon gate and appears in front of everyone. After 10 years, she has lost her childishness and can take charge of things on her own. She hides her weakness and adorableness in her performance. Her whole person is like a polished sapphire, and her watery eyes are particularly attractive. Judith stares at Sister Weya in a daze. Lin Luoran touches her forehead and says nothing. Damn it. She didn't know that the fat man was interested in Han Weya at all. He even chased her to the Earth Federation. But he also took the princess with him. What is going on? Mu Tiannan sees that she frowns. It's rare to see that she is so cute. Mu Tiannan's eyes soften a lot. Let the young people solve their own problems. Lin Luoran can't help but nod. After Mu Tiannan slips away, she remembers what he said. Is she really old? Lin Luoran is struggling with the sentence, the young people. Bape Alliance is also struggling. The negotiation is not going well. The members of the visiting group fall asleep on the first night. After waking up, they do some scandals such as molesting federal female staff. These scandals are also filmed and broadcasted by accompanying reporters who do not belong to Bape Alliance. General Gott's public speech is full of emotion and his personal style is better than before. However, his attitude towards the Earth Federation has changed. He is no longer in favor of the Alliance using force against the Earth Federation. He used to talk about the benefits of conquering the Earth. The secret of longevity, with conclusive evidence, makes Bape Alliance and Ilok break the covenant and insist on going their own way. Now he completely overturns his previous words. After confirming that General Gott is physically and mentally normal and is not held hostage, Bape Alliance is very annoyed by his inconsistent words. Sutherland. It is obvious that Gott will lose power in the future. However, the arrow of Bape Alliance is on the string. Bape Alliance also hesitates whether to shoot or not. It is this short hesitation that brings an opportunity to the Earth Federation. The next day, Windsor, the second heir of the royal family of Nami Alliance, which ranks the top 5 in Hanoi. Prince Judith and his dignified concubine Shekinah make a public speech on the interstellar TV. They thank Mortal Heart Fairy for her selfless help to the Nami royal family and convey Windsor, who officially succeeded the throne the year before last. Queen Shiyen misses her best friend and hopes that the Earth Federation can be cautious and accept the title of Honorary Member Star awarded by Nami Alliance. Prince Judith is witty and his gestures show the magnificent demeanor of the Nami royal family, which has been passed down for thousands of years. Nami Alliance ranks the top 5 in Hanoi in terms of strength. Whether it is the destroyed Alpha regime, the current BAPE Alliance, or even other alliances in Hanoi who have received the news, they are all very curious about the relationship between the Earth Federation and Nami Alliance. Compared with other alliances, the Nami royal family is superior to the alliance government. In the eyes of outsiders, the Nami royal family is backward and xenophobic. It is difficult for other alliances to establish a relationship with the Nami royal family. BAPE Alliance's deployment is disrupted and it almost vomits blood. Do they still want to fight against the Earth Federation? Idiot. Do they want to kill the second heir of the Nami royal family? BAPE Alliance soon finds that this is just the beginning of bad luck. Chapter 546. The goblin caught by Hu Ji has been tortured by Hu Ji's illusion circle for a whole night. It is almost crazy and has completely lost its previous cunning. Mu Tiannan locks it up and plans to squeeze its last value. As for General Got, who returns to BAPE Alliance, Liao is a puppet made of spirit bamboo. It doesn't know many words and it doesn't have the ability to think. It is too far away to command. No matter how vivid it is, it will be exposed sooner or later. However, Lin Luoran and others are not afraid of being exposed. Mu Tiannan's bloodline club has already planted some spies in the dark. There is no need to replace politicians with puppets. Lin Luoran feels that proper exposure can give BAPE Alliance a warning. Liao can replace Got Sutherland with puppets. Of course, he can also replace them with puppets. Lin Luoran has an evil thought that the war hero who often appears in public on the radio can be replaced under the watchful eyes of the public. At that time, some important officials will feel very subtle. Liao's ability has been successfully put into use. Recently, he can walk with his chest straight, which eliminates a lot of wretchedness. Therefore, as soon as Lin Luoran comes to him, Liao's self-confidence is inflated. He agrees to do something big with Lin Luoran without thinking. Mu Tiannan sees the two of them board the starship and leave. He shakes his head repeatedly. BAPE Alliance is afraid of the relationship between the Earth Federation and the Nami royal family. Artillery has no eyes, so it doesn't dare to blow up Judith on the Earth. However, for an alliance, every battle has been planned in advance and they have made great efforts. If they don't try, how can they simply give up because of the prince of the Nami royal family? After all, Nami's star territory is on the other side of the distant starry sky. Will they easily launch a time-consuming and costly war in the distant starry sky just for a prince? Even in the era of the big universe, the negative mass, used to open wormholes and stabilize channels, can be made by human beings, but the cost is extremely high. War, no matter in the backward era of cold weapons, the modern era of hot weapons, or even the interstellar showdown, still consumes a lot of money. BAPE Alliance's current situation is like using the secret of longevity as bait. It spends the shareholders' investment first. Now it doesn't get any dividends. How can the shareholders agree? Some people wanted to give up, but there were even more crazy war maniacs who didn't have the word give up in their dictionary. When the war suddenly breaks out, Liao and Lin Luoran disappear. The people of the Federation, who were still asleep, felt a slight shake. Some people thought it was an earthquake. The buildings of the new era were very resistant to earthquakes. Many people were relieved and went back to sleep. Then, a shrill alarm sounded. The Dragon Sovereign Seal could block the attack, but it could not block the light. As long as one looked up, those UFO-like airships with red flames lit up the night sky as if it was daytime. The nightmare from more than 300 years ago had descended once again. The difference was that it was a one-sided massacre 300 years ago. Earth was unprepared and could only resist stubbornly, paying an exceptionally heavy price. 300 years later, the Federation endured the humiliation and actively rebuilt, accumulating strength bit by bit. The halo of colonial star that had shrouded the heads of generations of people had become the driving force for the development of the people of the Federation. Compared to more than 300 years ago, the Earth Federation had a sturdy defense shield. It had the resources and technology that the great merchants had exchanged for hundreds of years. It also had the support of several great cultivators. More importantly, compared with the one-sided massacre before the new era, they had rebuilt their faith and had the confidence to fight against the Bape Alliance. The Earth Federation was still very weak and immature. It was like duckweed dust floating in the vast universe. It had to go through this war in order to be reborn from the fire and really stand firm in the era of the big universe. Come on, let's fight. Hu Ji reopened the Green Mountains world. Monsters came out of Weifang one after another. The dead energy floating in the air made the monsters feel refreshed. King Hu said that if they won this war, they would enjoy real freedom. The Nine-Tailed Fox clan will surrender the beautiful Green Mountains world to them. The monsters living in this world would become the real masters of the Green Mountains. The acacia tree monster came out. Compared with the thick-skinned monsters, her plant body was relatively fragile. However, when Shisandra woke up, she found that the planet where they had lived for a long time had become a waste star full of bullet marks. It was better to stay in the Lost Land before, let alone come out with Jiang Shang. Thinking of the past, she was as indifferent as Shisandra. Her face also showed a touch of softness. That was the happiest time in her life. She and her companion, Shisandra, had agreed to live in seclusion in the Lost Land. A few years later, a rash Taoist broke in and disrupted their peaceful life. Later, she changed back to her original body and fell into a deep sleep. Shisandra must blame the little Taoist. However, it was her choice. From the beginning to the end, what did it have to do with others? A cold silver-gray mecha interrupted Shisandra's memory. It was impossible to destroy Dragon King's seal from the air. Bape Alliance put its main force on Mecha. It was ready to disintegrate the defense of the 10 defense cities and Dongting City on land. It wanted to break through from the inside and take down the so-called City of Faith. The dark muzzle of the mecha was aimed at the strangely dressed Earthlings whose gender could not be recognized. The next moment, the Alliance soldier operating the mecha found that the Earthlings disappeared in front of him. A feather gently fell on the cold shoulder of the mecha. It was a light yellow velvet flower with a sweet fragrance. The yellow velvet flower covered the mecha. It was said that the mecha could filter poisonous gas. However, it could not isolate the faint fragrance. The operator in the mecha fell asleep inexplicably. Hu Ji patted the unresponsive mecha and gave a thumbs up to Shisandra. As soon as Shisandra took action, the sky was filled with light yellow velvet flower. The scene was beautiful and there was no smell of blood at all. All captured prisoners of war were alive, and the mecha was not damaged at all. Other monsters were much more barbaric. Some monsters teased the Alliance army with their brains like lark. However, most of them just rushed around and made the surface of the mecha uneven. When the Alliance soldiers inside were pulled out, they were either covered with blood or missing arms and legs. It was very bloody. Monsters did not pay attention to rules when they fought. Sometimes they did not gain anything. However, when you thought you had figured out their habits and set a 100% flawless trap, these monsters did not have to go through the trap. If you couldn't defeat them, you would escape. There was probably no such thing as shame in people's minds. Bape Alliance would soon have a headache because of such a group of rogue, monster army. Every time the Earth Federation escorted trophies and prisoners of war, it would make a public announcement to give people enough confidence so that they would believe that the city under the Dragon King seal was impregnable. Half a month after the war started, Bape Alliance helped the Earth Federation to eliminate many mutant monsters in the wild and took over a large area of uninhabited areas. However, it did not shake the foundation of the Earth Federation. Compared with Bape Alliance's efforts, it was not proportional to the harvest. The secret of longevity was not only in the so-called cultivation method. The key point seemed to be related to the Earth, this remote planet, and the Earthlings who were born and raised there. The Alpha Alliance was defeated, and Bape Alliance was in, got Sutherland. With the help of Got Sutherland, they got the top-secret information one step ahead of Alok Alliance. Some items used by cultivators, various ancient books on personal ability enhancement, data of countless ordinary people dissected, and even the information of several low-rank cultivators they had captured. Mu Tianan finally escaped from the goblin's mouth. It has been half a month since Lin Luoran and Liao left the Earth. If the vivisection data obtained by Bape Alliance is the sin of the defeated and disintegrated Alpha Alliance, then the last words of the goblin are enough to make Mu Tianan tremble. The spy buried by the Alpha Alliance in Dongting City is the analysis of the news sent back before the Alliance was defeated. Colin Weir, a native Kaiser, has now learned some means of cultivators. This is the important basis for Bape Alliance to overthrow the old conclusion that humans other than Earthlings can't become cultivators and launch a war. He has also heard Lin Luoran mention building the Taoist route for Colin. At that time, Lin Luoran must be selfish, but Colin was also willing to be a test subject. If the Alpha Alliance got the news, it must be when they built the 10 defense cities. At that time, several young people in the family were independent, and Colin often appeared in front of people. Mu Tianan suddenly has a bad feeling. On a passenger spaceship of Bape Alliance. Lin Luoran is not used to the method of changing appearance taught by Liao. She now looks like a real Bape. Her dark brown skin and sunken eyes make her look inconspicuous. Liao still has a red nose. At this moment, he and Lin Luoran stay in the two-person ordinary cabin of the passenger spaceship, ready to go to the main star of Bape Alliance. Interstellar alliances are often named after the most powerful planets in the alliance. Just like the Nami Alliance, Bape Alliance is also named after Bape Star. Different from the low-key Nami royal family, the main star of Bape has a large administrative area with more than a dozen auxiliary stars. The fake identities fabricated by Lin Luoran and Liao are perfect. They are still allowed to land on Bape Star after many layers of checks. It was a large planet with an azure hue. There are several planets around it. From a distance, it looks like a bright sapphire inlaid on a black cloth. When the Earth was photographed from space, it was also blue and beautiful. However, it was because 70% of the Earth was covered by water. On the other hand, Bape Star shines because its buildings are mostly blue. It is as charming as a good sapphire. Bape people respect blue and they like a kind of blue liquid extracted from plants. Biological analysis shows that the tradition left from ancient times is not groundless. The substance extracted from the blue mountain vines is extremely beneficial to the human body. For a long time, Bape people, with their excellent physique and outstanding wisdom, became the first star in the star zone to step out of their home planet and become an interstellar civilization. With this advantage, Bape people have been strong to this day. Many planets with scientific and technological civilizations often get lost in the pursuit of foreign things. They ignore that the evolution of the human body itself is the driving force of all scientific and technological productivity. Bape people are somewhat stubborn and firmly believe that without their ancestors taking the blue mountain vine liquid, they would not be able to get to where they are today step by step. This is the reason why Bape people are more interested in the so-called secret of longevity than the Alpha Alliance. In the view of the high-level leaders of Bape, if the brilliant cultivation civilization on the Earth is really as prosperous as recorded in the books, they can't figure out what is stopping such a group of powerful individuals who have mastered the art of controlling the wind and rain from hiding on a remote planet and ignoring the vast universe. Earth cultivators lack the drive to make progress, which makes them jealous of the path of individual strengthening. It is also the reason why the Earth has fallen to the point where it can be bullied at will. Now that they know that people without the blood of the Earth can also cultivate, Bape people are even more determined to get the small Earth. When Lin Luoran and Liao left, they didn't know that the enemy had known the truth about Colin. If she could know what Bape people are thinking, she would definitely sneer back. Half a month ago, when they left, the war had not yet started. At that time, she just wanted to give Babe people some deterrence. On the way, she woke up with the news. If she didn't make up her mind, the Earth would be in danger. Lin Luoran and Liao sneak into Babe's main star. Lin Luoran carefully looks at the map and finds the area where blue mountain vines are planted. Plants like blue mountain vines can only grow in a limited geographical environment on Babe's main star. No matter how similar the simulated indoor cultivation site is, the blue mountain vines only look good and have lost their most important function. Babe Alliance also has drugs like gene enhancement fluid. The most important substance is blue mountain vine fluid. Since they understand the importance of blue mountain vines, they value this species so much that it can be regarded as a national treasure. After knowing the importance of blue mountain vines, Lin Luoran decides to give Babe people a little surprise. Of course, before Babe Alliance officially declared war on the Earth, Lin Luoran's main purpose was to deter them. Now she plans to do it for real. She and Liao sneak into a blue mountain vine plantation. The abundance of Reiki here makes Lin Luoran a little jealous. Artificial planting can never be compared with wild growth. Artificial laboratories can analyze the composition of soil and air humidity, but they can't artificially produce Reiki. As soon as Lin Luoran examines this kind of vine, she knows that its special feature is that it can keep the Reiki it contains without extracting the juice like a cultivator. Under normal circumstances, this is a very rare characteristic. No wonder Babe people attach great importance to it. What a waste. Liao looks at the blue mountain vines all over the mountains with a painful expression on his face. He righteously condemns Babe Alliance's rough extraction method. Lin Luoran is angry when she sees that the place where blue mountain vines are planted is full of Reiki. She plans to let Sacred Pearl eat and absorb all the Reiki. Hearing Liao's words, she changes her mind. Uncle Liao, do you have a way to harvest all the blue mountain vines here in an instant without alarming Babe people? Liao smiles, it's shameful to waste. Watch me. He makes a very strange Taoist gesture, and the blue mountain vines twist by themselves. From a distance, it looks like the leaves are shaking in the wind. Only Lin Luoran can feel that the blue mountain vines are beating at a strange frequency. After the time it takes for a stick of incense to burn, Liao nods and smiles, come here. The syllables he makes are the same as the beating frequency of the blue mountain vines. Lin Luoran opens her mouth wide. The blue mountain vines pull out their roots from the soil and rush towards Liao. Lin Luoran retreats quickly. Liao stands there and is submerged by the hill-like blue mountain vines. When he shakes his clothes and appears again, the hill-like blue mountain vines disappear in an instant. He has put them away. Lin Luoran gives him a thumbs up. Compared with his storage space, she thinks Liao's trick can definitely kill all pretentious people. Damn it, she has never seen a plant without intelligence that can pull itself out of the soil and run to the enemy. Lin Luoran has the listening spell, and she can feel how happy the blue mountain vines are. They are definitely crazy. Facing Lin Luoran's undisguised admiration, Liao is rarely humble, it's just a small trick. In the past, Qi trainers used to use this trick to keep the spirit medicine happy. Lin Luoran's face stiffens. What era is Liao talking about? Those Qi trainers must be so cool. Refining medicine also needs to keep the spirit medicine happy. Even if she can listen to the voice of all things, she is not sure that she can coax the spirit medicine to come to their death. Hurry up. Even if the blue mountain vines come to their death without complaint, the bare hilltop is too obvious. Liao points to the bare ground. Lin Luoran understands. With a thought, Sacred Pearl is allowed to eat to its heart's content for the first time. It has been suffering for many years. For the first time, it can sing and eat happily. Reiki swarms in. Lin Luoran's gathering vitality middle period has just been stabilized. She doesn't dare to overeat and absorb so much Reiki again. All the Reiki will benefit the Sacred Pearl. The blue mountain vines are stolen in a short time. It's reasonable that Babe people can't supervise them properly. However, such a large-scale Reiki fluctuation will disturb various meteorological data. Bape Alliance soon finds something abnormal. When the garrison arrives with airships, Lin Luoran giggles while listening to the four monsters in space cheering. She feels the huge changes caused by the abundance of Reiki in space. Seeing more and more airships above their heads, Liao is speechless to Lin Luoran, who is giggling foolishly. He separates the soil layer with one hand. Before the attack, he takes Lin Luoran and disappears. I haven't finished absorbing it yet. Lin Luoran feels a little regretful. Liao rolls his eyes. Why didn't the bitch who gave her the sacred pearl tell her about the behavior of plundering the planet's Reiki? There must be a limit. Because he is talking about a bitch in his heart, he feels a chill on his back inexplicably. He complains that the influence of a bitch is everywhere. Liao has to explain to Lin Luoran the inevitable connection between Reiki and planet, plundering, and karma. Lin Luoran is a little enlightened. You mean, cultivation is fighting against fate, but it is not against the law of nature. Plundering the Reiki of a planet is actually creating a lot of killing? Liao nods. Reiki is the vitality of a planet. If Lin Luoran doesn't leave any room and extracts the vitality of the planet, the species living on the planet, no matter plants or animals, naturally can't survive. It is no different from killing all the lives on the planet with her own hands. Lin Luoran feels good for a while. When the divinization doom comes, even if someone protects her, Lin Luoran's small body will inevitably be smashed into pieces by heaven's doom. Lin Luoran understands that Liao is right. She just needs to do some damage. If she wants to destroy the vitality of the Bape star fundamentally, she will have to bear the consequences. Liao's escape skill is really amazing. They walk underground. Lin Luoran only feels that her feet are supported by the power of the earth element. She can walk freely underground. Because of her clear sight, she can occasionally find some precious refining minerals and some Reiki materials growing deep underground. Although the Bape Alliance is vigilant, the blue mountain vines everywhere are all stolen by the two rats. This year's blue mountain vines have no harvest, and the Bape government is furious. They still don't know that Reiki has been absorbed by Lin Luoran. Not only this year, but also for many years in the future, the blue mountain vines they want are doomed to have no harvest. Before Liao disappears, he wretchedly leaves a V gesture in front of the camera. In the council building where the most powerful people on the main star of Bape are concentrated, people tacitly break several cups on the same day. General, we can at least be sure that the female cultivator called Mortal Heart Fairy by the Earthlings has come to the Bape star. The real leader of the military, an old man of Bape with brown skin and light blue hair, nods. His skin is also slightly blue. It is because he has taken too much high-level blue mountain vines extract, so he has a longer lifespan and physique than others. A soldier pushes the door and comes in. General, Sutherland. General Gott has returned to Bape Star half an hour ago. Our people have already controlled him. The general stands up, and all kinds of badges and honors hanging on his left chest tremble slightly. Let's go. Let's see the means of the earth cultivators. How did they control the young General Gott? Walking on the busiest street of the Bape Star, Liao sneezes hard. It's strange. Who is speaking ill of me behind my back? Liao murmurs and looks at Lin Luoran. Are you really going to let them go? Lin Luoran nods. It is not the first time we have done this. Do you want me to drown a city? Liao shakes his head again and again. He knows that the man in robe gave her a water droplet necklace. Crushing a water droplet can drown a city. It is the snow flood that almost destroyed the Green Mountains world. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.